somersault. Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Hi.
Crossovers powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everylevelconcrete.com. Bang! God, I almost spilled my monster everywhere again there.
Oh, don't spill your monster.
God, man, come on.
Josh,
We needed that this
Gary.
week. Been a
I
tough
love the white paneled Blue Jay hat.
Looks terrible on these cameras. But yes, it's a
Roll
beautiful
Jays,
hat.
go baseball.
One man great to the be great.
Hey, also, is that like just openly showing your political affiliation?
You're wearing a lot of blue today.
No. Wearing a hat of a Canadian team?
If you like Canada, are you a political?
Yeah, you're into the everything is political now.
They ran that ad.
He's coming. He's coming.
That is such a great hat.
It
Like
is.
that logo,
Yeah.
which Creighton stole, is fantastic.
They have
No,
done.
a court of law said they did not steal it.
They have. I like their. I think their navy blue hats with the light powder blue
Yeah.
brim. Those are some hats.
Do you know an organization
Well, yeah,
also in
physically,
Canada that we can't quit is the Expos?
I know.
We didn't pay
I'm
much
over it,
attention
by
to
the
them
way.
when they were
Mm.
playing,
Yeah.
but we can't quit their gear.
No.
Like you go to Shields and they have like
I
two
know.
different hats
It's-
at Shields of the Expos. No, there are no Washington like
No.
senators or anything like that.
The
of old
children are
school,
like,
Milwaukee
this is
Pilots.
This is
Yeah,
cool. This
well,
team existed before I was born.
So does it bother you guys that there are multiple teams that you remember that I was never alive for?
Well, how many teams are there?
Like,
Like-
last night's Hartford Whalers, Quebec Nordiques game meant nothing to you?
Nothing to do with me. The Houston Oilers, I was not alive during that
I
time.
don't really remember the Houston Oilers.
The Montreal Expos, I wasn't around.
I do remember the Expos.
I was barely alive for the Seattle Supersonics. Like barely.
okay. I do remember the Sonics.
Like I was barely kicking.
You'll get reacquainted with them at some point, I'm sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. What was the one that you guys were just the Expos? I wasn't here for the Expos. So
The
remember
Maine of
the-
Thrashers.
no, I was
Oh,
here.
there you go.
I remember Ilya Kovalchuk, who is the Winnipeg Jets leading point getter of all time, even though he never played for the Jets in his career.
Winnipeg Jets, 0
That's-
points last night.
That's a new team.
Hey, guess who's 4-2-2? 10 points in 8 games, baby.
who's he talking about?
The Blackhawks.
Oh,
Ryan Donato, 5 goals, 4 games.
unbelievable.
Do you remember the San Diego Chargers?
Yes, I'm not that old.
What about the
Junior
Oakland Raiders?
Seau. Yeah, come on.
What about the Los Angeles Raiders?
What about the Oakland A's?
See the Los
What
Angeles
about back to the Oakland Raiders?
the Los Angeles Raiders before they became the Oakland Raiders? I was not alive for.
How about the St. Louis Rams?
I was there for that.
Okay.
How about the
I-
Kansas City Omaha Kings?
No,
Okay.
no, wasn't there for that.
How
St.
about the
Louis-
Kansas City Kings?
No, not around.
Okay.
Not around.
What about
Washington-
this? What about the St. Louis Cardinal football team?
Ah, there you go.
No. Washington Bullets, not around. Wasn't around for that.
How about the Wizards when they had their old blue jerseys?
Oh, with Gilbert Arenas? Yes.
Gilbert Arenas. is
Oh, you
into
mean
some-
the snitch?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He said it's snitching time.
Karan Butler, wasn't Karan Butler on those blue
Almost for
wizard?
sure.
Wizard Karan Butler was on all of those like very 6 to 8 seed Western Conference, Eastern Conference basketball.
Good
teams.
pull.
Omaha Nighthawks.
No, not. Well, I
What
don't
about
know.
the Omaha Mammoths?
See these like you could tell me that they
Good
were
one.
established in 1932. You could tell me they were established in 2010. I'd take your word for
The
it.
Omaha
Racers?
Royals.
Probably not the Royals.
What about the Omaha Knights?
No.
The Omaha Royals existed like 15 years ago.
Tim Legler used
Okay,
to run
then I
this
was
town.
then I was around.
What
But I
about the
was
Omaha Racers?
When were they alive? I don't know when any of these teams were alive. You keep throwing out letters that apparently are supposed to matter to me, and they don't matter to
What
me.
about the Arizona Coyotes?
Yes.
Oh, the
Well,
Phoenix
come on.
Coyotes.
Phoenix. Then Arizona.
Or like
Phoenix.
so the Minnesota North Stars I wasn't alive for.
Okay.
I wasn't around for them.
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's not so bad. But there's only a couple examples that you're really talking about.
Well, the Bullets.
It's like I remember the Expos. I remember
Bullets.
the Sonics. You know.
Well, the
I'm not that
Sonics I
old.
was alive for.
I'm not that old.
You're old.
What about
a
the
young
Washington
man.
Redskins?
Well, you're just pointing. Yes, I was
What
alive.
about the Cleveland Indians?
Yeah.
Okay.
Donovan McNabb, Kurt Suzuki.
What about when the Arizona
Kurt Suzuki
Diamondbacks
was a
wore
twin. He was a
purple
twin. He was a twin.
and
He was a twin.
teal and stuff?
Who?
Yeah.
The Arizona Diamondbacks when they were purple.
With the big unit?
with the big unit. He was there.
No, I wasn't. I only remember the Arizona Diamondbacks being red and black.
Whoa. Okay, that's different. When
okay.
did that change? Probably about 05, 06?
All
Feels right.
of
Somewhere
my
in that range?
Diamondback memories are red and black. Now, my Houston Astro
10?
my Houston Astro memories are a lot of gray and red and not orange and blue.
Good. Yeah. Because
you
you
know,
watched the 2005 World Series.
there was enough-
07,
there was-
they dropped the purple and teal.
There was nothing better than watching that GN, WGN, that ugly ass score bug. It was teal and black, and it was bulky, and it was across the top of your screen.
Teal
It was like blue. It was like blue and teal.
for the Astros?
No, for the Cubs.
And
They would play and I'll never forget when who is that guy, Gary? He catches the ball in right field against the Astros, and he thought it was 3 outs, and then he took the ball and he threw it into the stands, and then the Astros scored had a home run because of it, and then he was asking for the bleachers to throw it back to him so he could rally it back to the plate.
He's a very obscure one.
It was a very obscure right
Well, I
fielder.
remember when
Kosuke Fukudome?
It wasn't Kosuke.
Good.
That was a
point.
great ball. It wasn't Ryan Shearholtz
I
either, or
remember
Nate
when
Shearholtz.
you remember when Larry Walker at Dodger Stadium
Milton
playing for
Bradley.
the Expos threw the ball into the stands.
Oh,
It was the third out.
That sounds like something that Milton Bradley would have done, actually. Was it Milton Bradley?
Cubs. I'm just looked up Cubs player throw. Yeah, it was Milton Bradley.
Nice job, Josh.
Nice.
I
Nice
Googled.
job.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, guys, that when I was with the Twins,
Oh, the Omaha Golden Spikes.
yes,
You don't remember the Omaha Golden Spikes?
I don't know anything about Omaha.
They only existed for 3 years, maybe 2.
yeah, and you know what? And it's unfortunate. There's the Kit Pello
Ah,
baseball card in a red jersey
I
and
know.
a red cap.
so funny,
Oh,
so funny.
that was a very bad time.
It's nostalgic now. It's like, oh, that was kind of fun. That was a good idea.
But
Look
at
at
the
that.
time, people hate.
But then they
it.
became the Storm Chasers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's the Golden. They should have just been the Golden Spikes again.
Look at that terrible score bug. Look at how ugly that thing is.
Oh, that's good.
that was my childhood, man. And
Here's-
then look, Milton gets it,
Milton-
pauses,
Milton
They're
was
tagging up.
all
and he throws it in.
Milton was all hot dog team, baby.
So we had when I was with the Twins, there were a couple of guys with the Twins that were former teammates of his, and all the stories about Milton are true.
yeah, that sounds right.
He played the game on an edge would be the basic principle of Milton Bradley's
on
experience.
an edge. Yes.
Okay. Charlotte Bobcats.
Charlotte Bobcats.
There you go.
Emeka Okafor.
Yeah, no, with Gerald Wallace and Corey Maggette.
Yeah.
I was around for that.
Zach
Vancouver
Randolph.
Grizzlies.
Was Zach Randolph on there? Or was that the Grizzlies?
Ooh.
No, that was
Oh, you don't remember the Vancouver
the
Grizzlies?
Vancouver
probably.
Grizzlies. No,
Oh,
Big
yeah.
country.
Wasn't around for the Vancouver Grizzlies. I wasn't around for
Big country.
when when the Raptors were purple and red. I wasn't around for that. I've
Oh.
only lived with a red and Drake themed
Bad times.
Toronto
You live in a
Raptors
worse
team.
world than we did.
Yeah. Like I remember my dad, the first player I ever remember saying to my dad, being like, "Oh, how was he good?" I was like, "Dad, was Vince Carter good at basketball?" He was like, "Oh, son."
Let me tell you something.
And then he showed me the dunk contest,
Yeah.
and the honey dipper,
It's the only thing you need to see.
And then the next guy
We
I
played for
remember,
20 years in the NBA, but
my
the
dad
dunk contest.
My dad played
Boil
me.
it down
Gary,
to
you'll
2
like
plays.
this. Gary, you'll like this. My dad played me Mitch Richmond highlights. When I was
Nice.
8 years old.
Nice.
He was like, "You need to know how true scored looks like."
That's how you do it.
So watch more Sacramento King highlights.
No, I'm good. I don't think I'm going to watch one Sacramento King basketball game this year. I
I
have no interest.
I'm getting so many LinkedIn friends this morning.
Why? Did he post an update?
Atlanta Flames.
Detroit Shock.
No.
What
Oh,
about
good
the
one.
Colorado Rockies hockey team?
What?
What about the Kansas City Scouts?
No.
Okay.
He's talking about some weird hockey league now. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Neither. Yeah. I know the Waterloo Blackhawks.
That's USHL.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. And the Omaha Lancers.
The Sioux City Explorers.
Nice. How about
That's okay.
the Chicago
Now
Steel?
hold on here.
Name
You know what-
USHL
you know what-
teams.
Do you know what league the Sioux City Explorers are in,
Well, if in there in Sioux
or
City.
what sport?
Oh, the Sioux City would be hockey, would it not?
No.
What is that in the Northwoods baseball league?
That would be in the American Association.
Okay. Hey, I wasn't that far off.
The Lincoln Salt Rocks.
Oh, well, I went to a lot of American Association games.
You probably saw the Sioux City Explorers play.
And then when they have to go play hockey, they would play against the Sioux City Musketeers.
Musketeers.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of. Do I know more USHL teams? What was the team that was just USA? They were just the
There's
USA.
there's
Team
like
USA
a
up in
team,
Ann Arbor.
Okay,
They're
that's
the
so.
USA development team.
That is so obnoxious to have a USA based.
Well, they got
USHL
wasn't their
team.
bit was they got smoked by everybody all the time.
Well, they lost to the Steel a lot for whatever reason. When we went to Chicago Steel games, they would be playing Team USA.
Stars or Lancers, take your pick. This used to be a big thing back in the day.
I've been to a Stars game, so I'd probably say Stars.
Ah, wrong.
Also, the Stars drafted a kid, or the
Okay.
Blackhawks drafted a kid.
All right, let's just have this conversation real quick here.
All right,
You know what? The Lancers, because they had a head start on the Stars in the United States Hockey League, so they got a little run. They had success. The Stars never had a season where they didn't win a game. But there was
I'm not talking
Exarban-
about recent like Omaha Lancers.
There was Exarban Coliseum, and they had success. But in my time of 10 years in the USHL as the voice of the Lincoln Stars, I believe that we had more success. And people said, you know what? This is wild. They've passed the baton to the premier franchise in the USHL as the Lincoln Stars compared to the Omaha Lancers. And you know what? Even to this day. So thank you.
I can't argue with you. Did you during your run? Did you hoist the Clark Cup?
We won Anderson and Clark Cups.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Oh my. Speaking of defunct hockey teams, the Omaha Exarban Knights.
That's right.
Wow.
The Exarban Knights. I used to think that was the big leagues back in the day, going at the Civic. And speaking of the Civic, the Omaha Beef,
Yes.
which exist.
Yeah.
For the record.
What was the name of the indoor soccer team?
the Buzz, the Chicago Buzz.
Here in Omaha. Chicago Sting.
Oh, Sting, yeah.
Close.
Same
You were
thing.
close.
I don't know.
It was a B-related soccer team.
Jose, who used to work here, owned him.
What?
They were the indoor soccer team that played at the Civic Auditorium
The
for like a
Kings?
year or two.
Oh no, the Civic? Yeah, no, I don't know.
I don't remember that.
But okay, so I was telling
soccer.
Matt earlier because Matt didn't get to experience Civic Auditorium. Like, I think, I love Baxter Arena, but Civic Auditorium is the best venue that Omaha hockey has played.
It's the Kings.
The Omaha Kings,
The Omaha Kings
soccer team.
That's the current one.
Oh.
But the Civic Auditorium made things better. Like the beef were better at the Civic
Yeah.
Auditorium.
100%.
Everything was.
well,
Because what do they call it? The slaughterhouse?
Except for
Oh.
Creighton. Creighton was worse there.
the
Yeah.
Vipers.
But okay, hold on here.
But Creighton was still good.
But when Creighton was good, the Civic Auditorium was rocking.
It was rolling in.
But
there.
when they were
Yeah.
bad, it was I could go and stack beer cups on the dasher boards if I had
Mhm.
seats behind Rick Johnson.
100%. Yeah.
Well, Gary was describing the Civic Auditorium. I told him, it just sounds like the advanced crappiness of it added to the aura of the stadium.
yes.
100%.
The Metro basketball tournament was so much better at the Civic Auditorium.
That's true.
Oh.
That's true. There's no doubt.
I don't even know
where
where they
even
play it.
is it
Yes.
now? I remember going to the holiday tournament at
Prep and Bell West.
I remember going to the holiday tournament at SAP, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That used to be fun.
See-
And then they played it at the Ralston one for
Yeah,
a
then
little
one
while.
year they were at Baxter and it was really good, but I think the rent was a little too high.
Hockey is one of those sports, like even at the youth levels, like the crappier the stadiums that you go to, like
Barn.
there's a perfect crappiness to like
Yeah.
certain scale. Like we used to play at this place in Bensonville, and man, there was one stadium, there was two rinks, and one rink was beautiful. It was pristine, had a great jumbotron. The ice was perfect. It was like the great temperature. And then right next to it was a rink that it was the crappiest little, like there was nowhere to sit. Everything was wood. It was way too cold. You get out on the ice, you couldn't see anything because it was like the fog was coming down, and it would take like a whole 5 minutes in the game for it to clear up so the heat would like get rid of the fog. That was the best time. We would play
Beautiful.
IHSA playoffs at that rink. We would play like the highest stake games at this like crappy little hockey venue, and it was awesome.
Great
Vipers
times.
was the indoor soccer.
Oh,
team.
there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I do remember them.
So I had only heard about this, and then recently I went to Mama's on Pacific, 158th or 156th and Pacific.
And you saw the
the
court?
floor,
Yeah.
the floor from the Civic Auditorium is
Mhm.
up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's sweet. And
It
why
is.
why can't they do a throwback night? Because they do, but bring back the old throwback floor, that Jay's logo
Yeah.
with the basketball and the Jay's script.
Great
I've always
idea.
thought about that. I think it's probably just too expensive,
Okay.
right? But like it's a great idea. You just go all the way in on the old, because they're gonna they're reintroducing kind of old Billy a little
Yeah.
bit on some stuff. So yeah, why not do the whole court? Maybe you could just put a sticker over the top or something like that.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't work like with their color schemes and stuff like that.
But
now.
have the little, because you remember how little the logo was in the middle of the floor at Civic?
Do you remember when it said? Do you remember like on the baselines it said like Omaha, and then one side it said Omaha, and the other side it said Civic Auditorium.
Yes.
I think it didn't say anything about Creighton. It was like Creighton wasn't.
It was
playing
tough
there
to
at all.
see through the grainy video of watching the games on Channel 3.
Yeah. Yep. And they played a lot of games on Channel 3 back in the early Quest Center days too.
Did you travel with the Stars at any point?
Yeah.
Okay. The Edge Ice Arena.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Yeah, in Bensonville.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
talking about. You broadcast in the nice one. Did you ever go to the second one right next to it, the second rink? Oh my God.
No.
God. Now I'm getting nostalgic.
But the USHL was so much better when I was in it because it was a little bit older league
Sure.
and they encouraged fighting.
God.
And the barns were packed.
Yeah.
And it's like it's
not that way anymore.
I mean, I can't go to Ralston and watch the Lancers. It's not the same. I can't go to the Icebox. Even they still draw well, they don't sell out.
I know. When the Stars were rolling and the Icebox was
Yeah.
What I have
cooking.
I
It's
have
the best nightclub in Lincoln with a
Yeah.
hockey game in the middle.
I have a hypothetical for you. If somebody said, "Hey, we're going to build a new arena, but we're not going to build it to be like state of the art. Like we're going to build it to have some flaws and to have some character. Like we're going to try and build an arena that clearly has been aged for 10 to 15 years to make it feel nostalgia." How'd you feel?
Well, they've already done that a lot around here. But
What do you mean?
ask Josh Hudson. What do you? Are you
Got a lot of venues.
Yeah.
A lot of
No,
venues.
but I mean, they go in
like they purposefully make it old and crappy?
they're like, hey,
No, it doesn't
hey,
work that way.
Hey, like the AC unit isn't going to be the best, and it's going to be a little bit moldy, and there's going to be times where it's going to be closed randomly for 2 weeks.
Maybe you could build an arena and then just have it sit there in the dust for like 30 years.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then you start using
a
it.
lot of
Yeah.
our current venues do that.
Hey, what would
That's crazy.
Remember when stuff used to be at the Mid-America Center? in
well, the
Council Bluffs?
Lancers. So
Yeah.
the Lancers, when they shut down Exarban Coliseum and they tore down the racetrack, they had to find a new home. So they went over there.
Yeah,
Way too big.
it's super weird.
But they built it and they built the arena, and you're like, okay,
I think I've only been there like 2 or 3 times for anything ever.
well,
it was a Styx REO Speedwagon and 38 special.
Hell
concert.
yeah, brother.
It was awesome.
I saw Tom Petty there, and he was great. But they don't. Do they have a lot of shows? Maybe they have like
I probably didn't get a
conventions.
lot.
and
They
stuff.
have a lot of
furry content. They have furry things.
I don't know
What?
about
What are
that.
they? What?
No, they have like comic books and furry conventions, like that kind of
Okay,
stuff.
so
is over
first
there.
off, Comic-Con and a furry convention are not the same
I
thing.
said they have that and.
Okay, I want to make sure that the and is still there.
I don't know. Every time I go over there to go to the casino, there's
Upcoming
somebody in the
events.
par-
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Of course,
Oh,
of course,
and
of
isn't
course.
that their home where they practice and they rehearse?
I've heard a lot of bands do practice at the
Oh,
Mid-America.
that's their
Center.
home. That's their home place.
So I think they built
Their
the
home
Mid
barn.
America Center to host people that sell hot tubs in the parking lot.
Council Bluffs Kennel
Cars.
Club Dog Show,
Car shows.
Health and
yeah.
Fitness Expo, a rodeo,
Yep.
Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live.
Here we go. Here we go.
That's it. They only have 5
the
things
Mid
on the
America.
books.
So I'm on Mid America Road a lot, but I've never seen the Mid America.
Hooters? You
Center.
going to
it's,
Hooters?
it's
Oh, it's
right.
right next
It's right
to
by
it.
Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
if you're
it's
walking
that-
into the main entrance of Horseshoe, it's the building to your
right,
right.
over there. Oh, I never dawned upon
That
me
looks
that
like
that
an
does
arena?
anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's that wrestling area too, right? That wrestling.
That's further down.
That's the
yeah.
Iowa West Fieldhouse.
yeah. I was
yeah.
like, that's dope. I was like, that's cool.
You ever go to Quaker Steak and Lube?
No, I just go to the Horseshoe. You know, I
Go to
just-
Quaker Steak and Lube. It's
Hey,
good.
can I? Why? And I used to spend a lot of time in the Iowa West Fieldhouse, so you'd go there, and then they had a Ruby Tuesdays that I don't know what it's called now.
They had
Yeah.
Ruby Tuesdays in
Yeah.
the Iowa West.
No, it was in the
Fieldhouse?
parking
Right
lot
over there.
across.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude,
like
I
where
love
there's
the
a
Ruby.
Hooters there, and then
The Hooters turned into something different.
No,
now.
there's a Hooters right over there.
it's still the Hooters, but
There's-
Ruby Tuesdays turned into something.
Yeah, it's like
There-
sports world
There's
or
a
something.
sport bar.
Yeah.
How
over
come?
there.
How come on this side of the river we've never had a Quaker Steak and Lube?
I don't know.
Great
It's a great question.
Why does
We
Lube-
do, but it's in like North Platte.
Yeah,
It's way out there.
because it's a popular place. It's always busy.
Mhm.
Maybe they only put it in like outposts or something like that. Maybe that's their bit.
What's the lube part?
Beer.
Okay.
And they don't serve steak really. It's just it's a sports bar. It's wings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard Is that a common thing that lube is beer?
It's
It's
just,
just the branding.
it's a play on words.
Yeah.
It's a racing themed.
Yeah, there are a lot of.
There's a
you
bunch
would
of
like it,
cars hanging
like
from the
They have a
ceiling.
lot of NASCAR memorabilia inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's dope. Okay. I mean, I'm just
Nope.
yeah, I'm just going to the horseshoe. You know, I just gotta.
There you
6-7.
go. 6-7.
You know, I'll make 6-7 bets tonight.
How many, Gary Sharp? How many?
First last name.
How many Pacific Coast League baseball teams can you name in like 30 seconds? Or like old Pacific Coast League baseball?
Old Pacific Coast
yeah,
League.
Yeah.
Zephyrs.
Oh,
The New Orleans Zephyrs is the first. The Colorado Springs Sky Sox.
The Denver Bears.
The Denver Bears.
Yes, there was the Iowa Oaks.
Yeah.
There was. So you have.
is this like your soup?
Well, I just.
You know,
So we're going old school.
your equivalent.
So
to
the
naming
Vancouver
things?
Canadians, the Calgary Cannons.
Let's go. Yeah. Now we're talking.
Like I could go like old American Association. You had.
You
You had the Wichita Arrows. You had the Indianapolis Indians, which they're still, but they've kind of.
Yeah, they're probably not the Indians anymore, unless they are.
So I'm thinking like in the time where the Omaha team was like the Golden Spikes, and just
Okay.
I feel like I can remember all of those.
Oklahoma
teams.
City 89ers.
The Oklahoma City 89ers. Yeah. And then they just became then they became the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And now there's something different, right?
Yeah, they're a weird nickname.
Didn't they spend a little bit of time just like being the Oklahoma City baseball team?
Well, then they were the Oklahoma Redhawks.
Oklahoma. Oh, yes. Yes.
That's right.
That's one. The Albuquerque Isotopes still exist, of course.
Prior to that was the Dukes. Yes, they still exist. The Fresno Grizzlies
see
currently.
the Tucson Padres. That was a
Yeah.
thing. The Vegas team was the 51s for most of
Yes.
my time growing up. The Salt Lake Stingers were a thing for a couple years. Let's see here. Wow, this team's been a lot of different things. The Round Rock Express, classic, still exists. Sacramento River Cats, home of the Oakland A's. The Tacoma Rainiers.
The Louisville Redbirds
The Louisville Red.
when they were St. Louis.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And all these teams have changed affiliations. That's where we're pretty lucky around here. I mean, Omaha and Kansas City have been hooked up since what? The 70s?
Yeah.
One
Royals
of, if
are
not the
69.
longest.
I think it is
Yeah,
the
the Royals
longest.
are the
yeah.
longest.
Yeah.
they had that whole documentary about it. It's a great documentary.
Omaha Golden Spikes, 1999 to
50 years.
2001.
50 summers?
Yeah, 50 summers.
Remember there was like 3 years where the New Orleans Zephyrs turned into the New Orleans Baby Cakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had the creepy mascot.
Yeah, and then they moved out and they became the Jacksonville Shrimp.
The Jacksonville Jumbo
Jumbo
Shrimp.
Shrimp.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
won
Yes, they did.
the national championship.
Yeah,
But that
this year.
franchise moved to that was the one that took over Wichita.
Was it?
Yes.
The Wichita Wing used
Well,
to be the
okay.
Wichita Wing Nuts.
So Wichita was going to be a AAA city.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then COVID hit, and then Major League Baseball took over minor league baseball, and
Yeah.
everything became regionalized. With an
Everything got
affiliate.
blown up.
And so because that was going to be the Marlins AAA team, and
They
now
got-
it's
they got the
Twins.
shaft. They got
Now
the
it's
double
Twins
A,
double A.
Yep. And they're the Wind Surge.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. 'Cause
Oh,
They built
Wind
them.
Surge.
They built them a
Beautiful
whole new
ballpark.
ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful ballpark
Yeah,
downtown.
they were like not protesting for fun, but
Yeah.
like they were like, we need the money to bring a
Uh,
AAA team to
Iowa-
Wichita.
Iowa Western was approached about playing a football game there.
Oh,
They were going to play
Josh.
Hutch.
whoa,
Yeah.
let's do it.
The Double A Classic.
Oh, sign me up.
More football games in baseball stadiums. That's what I hear.
Mm.
People saying.
The Tri-City Storm. Have you been out to Kearney to watch USHL hockey?
Oh,
No.
you've never been to the Viero Wireless Center?
No.
Whoa, you just knew that.
Or the one in Grand Island is the what? Heartland Events Center. But nobody does anything there.
No,
Except
they used
for
to host what state
that-
volleyball.
well,
then they
and
have
that basketball
Heartland
tournament,
Classic.
the Heartland
around
Classic.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, remember when those NBA players were all here?
It's true.
Those future NBA players. So my high school, Omaha Central High School, is one of the best teams in the country.
Okay.
And
Whoa.
they went out to Grand Island and played what's the big one?
Oak Hill.
Oak Hill.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Carmelo Anthony.
Oak Hill came to Grant. They had a couple NBA players on there. Central beat them.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
That's a great time.
They
Yeah,
were so
they're-
good. They
so-
Central even went down to Fort Myers, which has a
Yep.
prestigious city of palms.
It's
They
it's-
played. They played all the big teams in those years.
Yeah.
It's funny you guys say that about the whole the certain basketball tournaments used to be better at certain venues. Illinois has gone through the same thing where there used to be incredibly famous Chicago Prep League basketball, like the Christmas tournaments and the Thanksgiving tournaments and whatnot. And they've moved those venues as well. And those have fallen off big time in terms of the popularity. I think it actually is very sad how much, and I'm just going to talk about Chicago specifically, how much that's fallen off. Just people really don't care about prep high school basketball, as not from a reporter standpoint, but just from a local standpoint anymore.
Well, it was
and I think AAU might have something.
So I'm gonna pull up the box score.
COVID
from that
messed
game.
with. There was a promoter that had in place down at the Chi, Sierra Canyon with Bronny James.
Yep.
Was going to play Millard North.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That would have been incredible.
And then the promoter, I remember him mentioning, he thought they could sell 17,000 tickets to go see Bronny James and Hunter Salas.
That's beautiful.
That's insane.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be really, really cool growing up. Hey, Jabari Parker's about to play your high school, and then it would get sold out, and everybody would go and to that game to see Jabari play. He was the last one, but it happened, and I'm sure it happened here in Omaha too, where you have to see this local guy play. He's, oh my God, he's gonna play your high school. It's the only game that gets sold out all year, and it's just a bunch of 18-year-olds or 17-year-olds playing basketball, and everybody's hyped up for it. It's a pro game.
Seems like this town we have a good, every decade, a 5 or 7 year stretch where you have to go see a certain player, and every gym on a Friday night or Saturday night is packed.
Yeah.
The 80s had that, the 90s. We just recently went through that run.
Yep, we gotta build it back.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Might be a little bit, Connor. We're going to be in a dry spell with basketball.
But my father telling the stories of and not just my dad, just if you talk to anybody who grew up in the Chicago high school basketball era of the 80s and being I remember when Isaiah Thomas, played my high school, or I remember when Anthony Davis, came through, or I remember John Shire was one of those guys.
John Shire,
where he was the white Mike. When John Shire played high school basketball, everybody went. Dwayne Wade when he was down in Richards, in Oak Lawn, Illinois. It was the same thing. When Richards would come up, they would only come up in the South Side to play they would come up during the holiday tournaments to play the prep teams, the more northern prep teams. That was always a big deal.
So that team, that Oak Hill team, they didn't have too many NBAers. It does, but their main guy was future SEC Player of the Year, Sindarius Thornwell. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Sindarius Thornwell was their guy that year. And then Troy Williams, who played in the NBA for the Grizzlies 3 years. So Stu wrote an update on this several years ago, 4 years after the game. Troy Williams of the Grizzlies, Ike Iroegbu from Washington. He played at Washington State. Leonard Freeman, NC State. RJ Currington of DePaul. He was on that team. And then all those guys who went to Central who had success. And,
Matt says Waterloo Blackhawks. Yes, they played in a dump at the fairgrounds. It's called the McElroy Coliseum or the McElroy Auditorium. It was a dump, 25-cent beer night. The Dubuque Fighting Saints.
Those are my guys.
They used to play in the Seven Flags Arena in downtown Dubuque. And then I think they went dark for a few years, got new ownership, because they used to be owned by a non-for-profit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How's that?
And then I think they built a brand new arena in Dubuque, and they've been much better for the last 10, 12 years.
I guess I know how that works because I know how Prasco Park works.
What would the all-time Omaha high school basketball team?
Oh, this is a topic.
Here we go.
This is a topic.
Not from. I don't want it from.
I think you have to do it by era.
But I don't want to do it. I don't want you guys to do it from he had NBA success. I want to do it like he was a dog in high school. In high school, he was a dog.
So is this going to be people that we've seen or
I want it
overall?
I want it to be people you've seen.
Because I never saw Mike McGee play in high school.
My dad did.
I think Mike McGee is on that list.
Yeah, the first one that's going to come up is Rich King, probably.
Yes.
And Andre Woolridge and Strick and those guys.
So
I wasn't around
by
for
the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s.
Yeah, guys that I've seen. Man, there's there's been a lot of like dominant. I mean, really, if you just take the guys over the last like 5, 6, 7 years,
Yeah, you'd have a good case.
You'd have like an all-conference high major team.
Sure. That's incredible.
But there were some bucket getters.
Oh.
Like the last one, like that I could remember, if like this is just for me growing up, but like the last great like Chicago high school basketball player that everybody was like, that was a dog, and he was incredible, and he was insane, and no one will ever forget him, was Jaleel Okafor.
Jaleel Okafor. They played that Central team in that Florida thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Jaleel was like him and Jabari were the last two. Like, do you know who got like that a little bit? And he's still playing college basketball, and I can't believe it. Bryce Hopkins was kind of getting to that level. He played, but he didn't play at a public school. He played at Fenwick, which was a Catholic school.
He tore his ACL 100 times.
Yes. But he, like, Bryce Hopkins at Fenwick, when he committed to Kentucky, like that was a big flipping deal. Like,
Why is Bryce Hopkins still in college?
That's true.
It's time to move on.
Hey, speaking of Okafor, Connor knows this story. Remember when he was just going to come hang with his buddies and he took an unofficial visit to Lincoln when Miles was the head coach?
I do.
wow.
That was a weird time.
Yes, it was.
That was a weird, but they were going after some top dogs.
They were. They had some
Yeah.
great visits.
Yeah.
Just didn't get a lot of those guys. But
The whole
Okafor was on an
Chicago
unofficial
trip.
visit, and people lost their mind. Like, oh my
It
God,
was
this
at a-
Tim Miles is real.
It was at a football game,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They had some great visits.
They had some great
They
visits.
did.
They did. They really did. I was like, whoa, Miles is about to, Nebraska's about to be a blue blood in basketball.
and then
Something's
he said,
happening
hey,
here.
okay, this is what I have for you. Mike Evans is going to come watch Petaway play. Can you put me in? Is that okay?
There you go.
Like one that Gary knows this. If you were to go to like the Chicagoland area and talk to somebody who was there when DePaul was great in like the 80s, and you just dropped or like in the 80s and 90s, and you just dropped the name Tom Kleinschmidt, like old men would be like, oh, Tom.
Yeah, like
He might be the all-time leading scorer at the Rosemont Horizon for DePaul.
Yeah, like if you
I
walked
know,
in,
I'm aware.
if you
But
walked
it's
into a
but like
bar-
that's a name where it's like no one outside, like he wasn't an NBA guy, like he wasn't like making all-star teams or anything. He was just Tom flipping Kleinschmidt.
like what would happen if I walked into a bar in
Sounds like
South Sioux City and said Mike Gazelle, and then I just left? What would happen?
I don't know. Like, would you have better success going Katie Robinette?
Interesting. Just drop them both in there and leave. And everyone would be like, oh, man.
See, but I can't. That's the problem. My generation doesn't have that. Like,
You'll get there.
Like, I'm not going to go to a bar in 10 years and be like, hey, Max Krisky.
It's too fractured. Our
Yeah,
society's
like-
too
like, I'm
split
not
in
gonna be
different
like,
directions.
I'm gonna be like, hey, guys, remember Con Knipple or not the who's the other white guy on Duke? Filipowski.
Oh, Kyle Philpowski.
Kyle
yeah.
Knipple, like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna do that. Like I can't walk in and be like Bryce Hopkins. People are like, oh my God, man, Hop. It's not like that at all.
And
You're right.
NU10 Skir said he saw Manute Bowl play versus the Racers
Yeah.
New Year's Eve at Exarban.
Yeah.
But like you can go in and be like Antoine Walker.
Is that the tallest guy who's ever been in Omaha?
Ooh.
Who's the tallest person to have ever been to Omaha? He sees above the rest. It has to be.
Has
the new
anybody? Okay, so
Edie?
Paul. I don't know if he's ever been. Well, no, I don't know if he's ever been here. Been to Lincoln.
Oh, here's
Ryan
a good,
Kalkbrenner.
here's a good Chicago. Here's a good Chicago one that was after Okafor, but people forget Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson at Stevenson.
That's a good. Dude, you just know that dude got buckets in high school.
Jalen Brunson. But here's the thing: Stevenson wasn't like a power or anything. It was just Stevenson High School, and he comes in, and you're right, bucket, like pure bucket.
And guess
You
what?
know
He
what?
stayed getting buckets.
Here's a funny one. He's still also in college somehow. This is one that I could drop at a bar, and guys would be like, "Oh my God!" Not Nick Martinelli. He plays for the Wildcats. Dom Martinelli.
still playing.
Dominic Martinelli was Nick Martinelli's brother, and Dom was better than Nick at Glenbrook South.
But what happened? He broke his leg or something?
He went to Northwestern, and then he just transferred to St. Thomas Aquinas and just never really had a career. And his little brother ended up
What could
being
have been?
one of the best Northwestern Wildcats. ever.
Before we
Dom
let you
Martinelli.
guys get on with your football day, NU trophy. The winner gets to call themselves NU. Are you guys on board?
Yeah, this became a thing when
It's been a thing for a while.
It's BS.
has?
It's BS.
No, I don't know.
I've
people
never
that-
really
it's
thought
it's
the whole
complete.
Nebraska NU thing has always been weird to me, just because it's the University of Nebraska.
Yes.
I saw it listed somewhere. Like,
It
hey,
is-
here's the big games this weekend.
NU.
Northwestern, Nebraska, the battle for NU. And I'm like,
There's no battle.
like, we're not calling. it that.
First off, Northwestern was established before Nebraska. Okay, that's just a fact. Second off, it's the University of Nebraska. It's not
Honk.
Nebraska University.
Mm.
Oh, I'm just telling you the fact. And you know what? If you're a Big Ten reporter out there and you're going through the 2-letter initials and you put NU for Nebraska and NW for Northwestern, go screw yourself.
Just,
all right?
just type the extra letters.
Yeah.
Nebraska,
Mhm.
Northwestern.
Yeah, you're typing. You're not writing it by hand.
Yeah, that'll get you closer to your character limit.
But you can go and get gear that says NU that's in red.
You can.
Okay. And does anybody on these national
They
shows,
wore a helmet
does anybody on these
That's true.
does Josh Pate and his tight t-shirts and all these guys
in the
talking
Big
about-
12. They did.
Okay,
in the
but right-
in the Big 12 they
but-
did.
but-
Nebraska was NU in the Big 12.
okay, yeah. But right now, do any of them call Nebraska University?
No, they call them
University of Nebraska
the Corn
or the
Huskers.
Corn Huskers?
Okay, we need a little fact check here. This is from Brandon. He tweeted both you and I. He said the tallest man to visit Omaha,
Let's go.
Robert Wadlow,
Yes,
tallest person in recorded history. He's 19 years old. He was already 8 foot tall. He continued to grow until his death at age 22,
Whoa.
and he was 8 foot 11.1
okay. But
inches.
how do we know he came to
No.
Omaha?
Well, let's look this guy up.
Yeah, he has to have come to Omaha.
Is he an Omahan?
Maybe he's an Omahan. How miserable would that height be?
Oh, no, life
I
would
mean,
be horrible.
he died at 22, so
Yeah.
that kind of tells you right there.
Yeah, that's
pretty
all.
tough.
Oh, okay. So there's a picture.
How do we know he came to Omaha? There's no way he was
Born
traveling.
in Alton, Illinois.
Yeah, how would he travel?
How would he travel?
Great question.
Just take a few less steps to get to Omaha? No, he didn't come to Omaha. No way.
He became a celebrity in the circus.
All right, so
Sure.
13 years old, my boy was 7'4". He was recorded at that time as the world's tallest Boy Scout.
Good bit.
When he graduated high school, he was 8'3". And he wasn't even 18.
Okay, so if he came to Omaha, he was in the circus.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna need to follow up on that one.
8
I don't think he showed
Foot
up here.
tall. Now his dad was only 5'11".
Wow. How did that happen?
Gary, do you remember Ronnie Fields?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, from Farragut High School.
Yeah.
That's a classic. He did.
All right.
What
That
a-
guy
Hey,
did.
hey.
Wait. He broke. Wait, this is a great story. He did break his neck, and
Oh.
he was a guy
Great
Whoa.
who would.
Stopped his growth.
It stopped his career. And
Makes
he
sense.
played with Kevin Garnett. And my dad and I, we went to this little diner called Seven Brothers in Niles, Illinois. This was like a while ago. It's no longer open, but we were walking by and there was this very, very tall guy who looked like he used to be an athlete. Dad goes, I think that's Ronnie Fields. And he was like, he was like freaking out.
And you were
That-
like the Ronnie Fields?
And I was like 8, and I was
Dad.
just like, I don't know who that is. And he was like reminiscing.
Hopefully he
about
enjoys his breakfast
Farragut High
skillet.
School.
I used to watch the public league school championship game on WGN. It would be on a Sunday afternoon, like at the University of Illinois, Chicago. And before I ever really knew about Chicago, my uncle was a professor at the University of Chicago. And so I went to spend like a week with him in the summer. And he goes, what do you want to do? And I go, I want to go see where King and Simeon High School is, because they would always play each other. And he's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, you don't get
And
that.
I'm like, yes, I do. I want to go see him. I go, can we just go now? Like, like
Right.
7 o'clock at night. And he's like, no.
But nobody would say that anymore. No, nobody would say, because nobody knows about the high schools anymore.
No,
know.
no, it's
And by
gone.
the way, no, you should not go there,
What?
especially
King and Simeon.
No.
All right, that's the crossover.
All right.
Enjoy your weekend.
Hey, are you doing the Cornhusker kickoff tomorrow?
No, no. I have
Oh, that's right. You have
Nebraska wins basketball tonight at 8:00 against Mount Marty,
Why are they playing it?
because volleyball plays at 6,
Yeah.
and they have to
Okay.
get all the fans over there after Nebraska beats Northwestern in
Oh.
about 82 minutes, something like that. And then
Jawan Howard. That was another great one. Damn it.
that's right. And then the Jays
Okay.
tomorrow.
Now, are there any difficult names this year on the women's basketball team?
Maybe.
You're going to look when you get there at 7?
I don't usually
That's right.
prep for my PA gigs until I get there. And I leave a lot of
You
time.
don't do prep?
Not for the PA, but when I get there, I do the prep.
You
It
do the
really
prep
takes
there.
about 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's all.
I'm doing prep for high school right after this.
Enjoy your weekends, everybody.
Thank you.
That's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It is Friday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Holy Chicago!
Mostly cloudy and a little cooler Friday as we wrap up the week. Mainly dry in the metro with a chance for a few showers south of the metro. Highs around 60. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is powered by Skradsky Heating and Cooling. Skradsky Heating and Cooling is locally and family owned. Visit heatomaha.com to find out about the Skradsky difference. And listen to 1620 The Zone for the best Husker coverage in Omaha.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. We've made it. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. What a week it's been. A lot of hand-wringing. Can you believe that Nebraska sucks again?
We suck again.
Hopefully, I have
the only quote allowed from that man. By the way.
Did you know that children's hospitals didn't
exist? It's a relatively new thing.
Because, another thing that didn't exist? Kids weren't sick.
Definitely not.
My kid's sick right now.
Polio
I'm sick
was
now.
a thing.
I'm sick now.
I'm sick now.
I'm sick now.
October 12th, October 13th.
How do kids get ear infections?
They do.
What happened?
I don't know.
Why does that happen all the time?
Probably crawling around on the dirt and then they...
I was going to Google that last night. Why does that always happen? Why did kids always get their ears infected? Does something actually have to enter the ear in order for that to happen? Or is that just like a type of sickness? And why is it always that sickness for children? What's up with ear infections, Josh?
Great question.
Answer my questions.
I don't really have an answer for you.
Sad. I thought you were supposed to have all the answers. Maybe somebody's calling right now from the UNMC College of Medicine.
They love you.
They do. They do. We're great friends. We exchanged a couple emails yesterday as well, by the way, which was fantastic. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Friday. Bryan Munson's going to join us here in about 15 minutes. Brian Christopherson at 11:30, and our good friend Steve Sipple coming up at 1. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We want to hear from you all today. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. And, of course, you can email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning, as always, to the YouTube streamers today. How's everybody doing? Good to hear from you all. And we'll get you into a weekend, of course, Nebraska football talk today with our history lesson coming up at noon. We will require Josh Odson to go into 1940s, man.
I've glanced at it.
A lot of words.
Read the copy. Yes, that is what I noticed.
A lot of words from when Nebraska Northwestern first met in 1902. And then we'll look back at some of the other games that they have played. Nebraska and Northwestern have played 13 times since the Huskers joined the Big Ten. It has been a one-score game 10 times. 10 times.
10
out of 13 is a pretty good trend. So will we get another one-score game tomorrow morning in Lincoln? It'll be a classic Big Ten day if it is like it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Little chill in the air, little chilly, people wearing their hoodies and things like that, and gray with a little bit of wind and the potential for a little bit of cold rain.
The least funny person you know at Memorial Stadium tomorrow. Hey, get me a Midwest hand warmer.
I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're at hand warmer territory yet.
I don't think so, but
maybe next weekend.
Oh,
I don't know how the weather looks next weekend, but yeah, it's gonna be a classic Big Ten day at Memorial Stadium. And with that, you are playing a Big Ten team who loves being a Big Ten team. So can you be more Big Ten than the Big Ten team tomorrow at Memorial Stadium? It's a challenge, Josh. It is a challenge. We'll talk about the ins and outs of Nebraska Northwestern today throughout the show in our keys, and we'll make our picks for the weekend. It was a bad week for your boy last week. I wasn't locked in. Josh emailed me Friday morning. He said, send me your picks, you idiot. And I said, I'm drunk now. And then I said, here are some picks. And they were all wrong. Almost all wrong.
Hell yeah.
Also, Josh's hype speech.
It is done. I made it.
Can't wait to hear.
Had a big bout with writer's block this week, but I got there last night.
Okay. Yeah, you always gotta find the theme of the week. What's the theme? What are some words that we have been using throughout the week that we could slide right in there seamlessly? So we'll see how Josh did. I would, of course, expect it to be fantastic, as it always is.
I'm happy with how it turned out. I wasn't happy about last week. The audience lifted me up.
It gets the people going. Oh, really? I didn't even hear last week's.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just leave it unheard. Other topics today. Of course, will Nebraska respond? Can't wait to see the play calling in this game, for Nebraska. And then what if they give up a bunch of sacks tomorrow for a team that's only had 11 through 7 games? What happens if Nebraska gives up a bunch of sacks tomorrow? I know what the conversation will be on Monday. I know what the conversation will be on Big Red Overreaction. If Nebraska loses and they give up a bunch of sacks, we got problems. Big problems.
That would be the nightmare scenario. A loss, okay, I mean, it wouldn't be great, but you could talk around it. A loss with a lot of sacks would be like the disaster scenario.
One man in particular would have a very bad time. And he's a coach for Nebraska, and his name is Raiola.
Donnie.
Also, I suppose his nephew would have a pretty bad time if that was the case, too.
Yes.
No doubt about that.
It'd be burning Takis in the streets.
Also, the World Series. Welcome to the World Series. Canada versus America. Go Canada.
Go Canada. That's right.
Blake Snell versus Trey Yesavage.
The high A baseball player?
The high A 22-year-old baseball player starts tonight for Canada in their game against America, 7 o'clock on Fox. Game 1 of the World Series in Toronto is going to be a spectacle. That's going to be really fun to watch.
I wish I was staying in that hotel.
Oh, man. What do you think the rooms are going for at the old Rogers Center Hotel tonight?
I thought about looking it up last week. I'm sure there's none available. I just want to know the price.
Just like what would I have had to spend to get one night?
And what's the conversion rate?
I believe. Yeah, I guess.
How many loons equal $1?
Well, it's not that far off, right?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's that far off. I've only been to Canada once, and it was at the time of my life where I really didn't have to think about money. All I knew is that they did gas and liters, and it was confused. No, I was like 9.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't understand the concept of money really yet. So I was weirded out because we were driving down the road and it said the gas on the on the marquee out front at the gas station, at the petrol station, was like $11 or something like that. And I was like, Dad, are you serious? Is that what gas costs in Canada? And he was like, it's $11 like a liter. And I'm like, what's a liter? And then I learned a whole bunch of stuff.
A liter of cola. $1 Canadian dollar equals 71 cents.
Not that far off. Not that far off. Also, the Vikings suck. And Carson Wentz had to die last night.
I looked it up this morning. He was only sacked 5 times, which is a lot, but
he was in so much pain.
Yes.
He was in so much pain. To the point where they just were like, screw it. We're going to put in Max Brosmer at the end of the game. The Minnesota Golden Gopher playing in La La Land last night.
See, people call it La La Land.
I only say that because you do all the time. And they did not play J.J. McCarthy, even though he was, there and in uniform. And
many people talked about how much healthier he looked than the quarterback they chose to play.
Carson Wentz were like, you're the guy. You're going to have to eat this one for us tonight. Boy, tough times for the Minnesota Vikings. And yes, there is some basketball this weekend. We'll have tickets for you for Creighton and Colorado State tomorrow. Revenge game for the Jays after what happened in the game 3-4 years ago now, Mountain West.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, remember that year where they couldn't beat any teams in the Mountain West, and then they went to I think that was the year they went to the Elite Eight, right? And then so revenge game, big time. Ali Farokhmanesh leads the Rams to town.
Whoa, that's right. I forgot.
Big shot, Ali Farokhmanesh. So we'll have tickets for Creighton Colorado State tomorrow. Tomorrow at the Chai. I'll be happy to see everybody in blue. The Jays Live is back, folks. We are excited about that. And tonight in Lincoln, yes, there's volleyball. I have a word for them. The Nebraska women's basketball team debuts in exhibition style tonight at 8 o'clock. So I'll be down in Lincoln tonight. And I won't get home until 11 because they're starting the game at 8. And I said, what? We don't start games at 8. We're not on television, especially not this game. And they said, well, Nebraska volleyball plays at 6, and we cannot overlap because our fans are their fans. And I said, sad and very unfair. But we roll with the punches, Josh. We roll with the punches. Sipple's Lost Tea writes in.
Hi, Sipple's Lost Tea.
The U.S.-Canadian border hasn't seen this much tension since the pork and beans war and the pig war. Go Dodgers. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Pork and beans?
Pork and bees war? I don't even know what Sipple's Lost Tea is talking about.
He's smarter than me.
I don't know ball, though, as it pertains to wars.
Oh, okay.
I don't know wars.
Well, you're not of the age where
not into
dads
it yet.
learn about wars.
Nope.
I've received an email.
An email.
This is from Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Subject line. You are a huge dork who ruins the show.
You or me?
Me.
Oh, what?
Body of the email. Talk less, at least.
No, you need to talk because I get tired.
Yeah.
I get sleepy.
You're a one-man band.
No, no, Josh, don't listen to that.
I am a huge dork. Like, he's right about that.
You don't.
I don't think I ruined the show, and I don't
make
think
the
I
show
need to talk
way
less.
better.
I think I need to talk more just to help you.
This is good because this will even you out from yesterday. Because yesterday everybody was saying Josh is the best and Josh is the funniest, and now
That's right.
This guy comes in and says, "Actually, no, wrong. Josh stinks."
It's good to have that balance, that
balance
push-pull.
Norm writes in on the text line.
Norm!
Give me a Midwest hand warmer. Sounds like something you shouldn't say on the radio. It does sort of sound like a sex act in a way.
Hey, we got strippers down here in the station from the Diamond Club. I'm throwing ham at their ass in the next hour.
And they'll give you a Midwest hand warmer.
All right.
Doesn't it a little bit?
Yeah.
Doesn't it a little bit? Yeah. Pedro writes in.
Poll question?
No.
Okay.
Pedro writes in. Hi, guys. I found out a long time ago that kids get ear infections from listening to a lot of bull crap. Even if they don't understand it, the body knows what it knows. And then I also received a text from a local personality who sometimes fancies himself to be a doctor. Ear infection is like a sinus infection for kids.
Yeah, we had a very learned gentleman call in earlier.
What'd they
in
say?
The segment. They said the ear canals for children are so small that it can't drain out like an adult. Like it would just kind of seep out.
Get bigger ear canals, children.
Yeah.
Work on that. And a text from Greg in Myrtle Beach.
Hello, Greg.
Enjoy the next 10 years of Ryan Kalkbrenner, Greg, as a Charlotte fan.
That was a gift to you.
He says, hope Josh's hype speech has irrelevant Bill Walsh and Red Auerbach quotes like every middle school rule presser.
That would have been a good bit.
You should have. You should have done it like that. But what's done is done.
Greg, I think you'll like the hype speech today.
Bryan Munson will kick off your Friday, get a little recruiting talk. Haven't talked to Munson in a couple weeks, so a lot to catch up on. How's Nebraska stacking things up for this weekend? And how are they stacking things up for next weekend? Night game, blackout. Whoa, watch out. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Bryan Munson.
Hey, long call. Comfy left zoom buster. 63 bang. Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, Friday. And we've arrived at the 11 o'clock hour, which means our weekly chat with Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Munson, good to talk to you. How we doing?
Good, dude. You know what? I was thinking about something today. I wanted to get your opinion on it.
Okay, great. Fire away.
Are you the guy that gets crazy with the bagel combinations? Are you a bagel guy?
I am a bagel guy. I do not get crazy with the combinations. I like an everything bagel, and I like plain cream cheese.
Samey, because I have got folks that are doing all sorts of like weird flavored fruity smear like on like the garlic onion or the everythings. I'm going, how do you do that? There's way too much like mosh pitting of the flavors happening in your mouth that I just can't even kind of like comprehend.
Now, I don't need like they do like cherry bagels and even a blueberry, like, which is a pretty common one. I'm still kind of even out on that. What I don't mind from time to time is a little salmon on there, a little lox. Like, that's cool. We could do, but that turns it into a different thing. I don't need any fruits inside my bagels.
You've crossed over to a sandwich at that point.
Basic, yes. It's a different thing, right?
Yeah, versus like a toast, like an untoasted piece of bread, thing. Like, I do exactly like you. I play start the mill. Like, I'm an everything plain, but I can do Asiago. And I think there's a 4 cheese one I think out there too that I've done before that's done like with the plain, but I do the plain old schmear, right? With like the crazy topping bagel. And then even when I'm doing like the egg sandwich stuff, that's usually the everything. Everything is usually like the best.
It's a versatile bagel, no doubt about it. It covers all the ground that I need it to cover. I'm
so happy that we talked about this though today, because I've been confused by what I've been seeing in places before.
Me too. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the bagel world. That's for sure. I did receive a text from a local personality who said, I had an everything bagel this morning with strawberry cream cheese. It was glorious.
I can't put that together in my device combination matrix.
I would not take this person for a strawberry cream cheese guy, but he does like a lot of different flavors. I don't know. It's probably worth trying, but I've found something that I've really, really enjoyed. So, why move away from it?
So I like strawberry. Now let me go back up one more time. I like strawberry and blueberry schmear, but it's got to be a plain bagel. I'm then focusing on the flavor of the schmear and not the actual bagel itself, when I typically then prefer vice versa, focus on the flavor of the bagel and the schmear just coming along.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think you make like a really good, like that's sound logic, right? Because when you move it to a plain bagel, then all of a sudden, the strawberry cream cheese becomes the featured item for the. I want the bagel to be the featured item, right?
That's where I'm at too. But if you got plain and you got a flavored schmear, I'm probably in.
Okay. All right. Thank you for asking, and I'm happy to share my thoughts on bagels anytime you'd like.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Okay. So here's a question for you. You're consistent on Fridays. So I didn't tell you last week that I was going out of town. Did you even know that I wasn't interviewing you like some of our other guests this week?
I did not.
So you thought it was me the entire time?
Oh no!
Okay.
Excuse me, I didn't know going in. I knew during.
Okay,
good.
During
it wasn't you. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a couple other items. We talked about Eastern Michigan. We talked about UNK. So yeah, it strayed a little bit to I knew who I was talking to.
Okay, good. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Austin does a great job. He can do whatever he wants, right? But then we had Bruns yesterday was like, yeah, I didn't realize I wasn't talking to you until about 7.5 minutes into the interview. I was like, oh, sorry. It's all good.
Oh my God. It's like you don't want that situation to come up. Like if your wife had like an identical twin, you don't know which one you're on the phone with. All of a sudden you're like, oh no,
this is not good. This is not good. All right. How's it been in the aftermath of this Minnesota game? What have been the common themes that you've heard from people?
Well, I mean, look, I'll tell you what I thought it was going to do, and then I'll tell you what I was kind of surprised it didn't. I thought it was going to make some of the Matt Rule noise kind of die down to Penn State, and it didn't. I'm kind of surprised by that. The way I look at Big Ten games anymore these days is like you kind of look at the spread, you kind of look at the opponents, and you kind of say, well, this team should take care of that team, and that's kind of the way you write it off. And I agree that like sometimes you get lower in the rankings, you get a team that's a little bit off the chart, off the radar, but yet there's a reason why you need to be kind of like skeptical about like everybody kind of going over that way, and that's usually Minnesota and Nebraska. And even though like Nebraska was thoroughly outplayed, I mean, even when they were down 7-6, I didn't feel like there was a path back into it. I thought by halftime, I thought the game was over. I just did not feel any life coming out of that team, and they were just getting punched in the mouth, and it just didn't feel right. But then like I figured that this week we'd be talking about I don't know, Drinkwitz or some Joe Brady or Hartline, the dude at Arizona State who had a massive win. I just, and then all of a sudden the rule stuff was still there. And I'm like going, I have little doubt that there's not some of these things that are hanging over this team right now with just kind of the debating the future. Like I don't think nobody had it on their bingo card that James Franklin gets fired and all of a sudden Matt Rule maybe not coming back to Nebraska next year. That's a pretty wild kind of like out of left field play. If you would have said that in August, then you definitely win the bingo. But I didn't have it on my card. So yeah, I felt like that was like the first thing. I felt like some of the noise would die down. I felt like from what I had heard this week, they got after it. Like it started on Sunday, like with the practice and the meetings. It was right after that. And then to hear that like Rocco, who first of all, greatest name for a football player maybe ever.
Pretty good.
And then on top of that, it's like to know what kind of injury he's going to fight through potentially to help this team out and see things through, because I think he understands his role. Like he was a hired gun, hired gun kind of guy. And when you go from Rocco to Tyler Knack and you're skipping over Gibson Powell because Gibson was hurt before the season even started. And, so it was a 1-3 kind of turn that you had there, very early in the game on Friday night. So if Rocco gives this a go, which it sounds like he's going to, my gosh, hats off to you, because that's a very, very serious deal to have to deal with. But I think they've worked hard. I think the offensive line, from what I've heard, has been coming along very well in this week of practice. And from the person I talked to on Sunday, they just cannot see, how this game can get lost on Sunday. Dangerous words, I know for sure, but I think the preparation has really been dialed up a lot this week.
It's definitely like a fork in the road type of game, and a situation where you should theoretically have everybody's attention by now. But Munson, there's a lot of eggs in the basket of this game. Like you kind of get to find out, all right, how are you going to respond in this situation? So it's a big game for that perspective too. If they don't show, it's one thing if they lose, and when you see it, but like if they don't show again, then the conversation really turns in a completely different direction.
Well, right, because here's the other, you're nailing it, because the other side of that is it's like you got to look at the way like last year ended. And do you have this kind of like dramatic unwinding, of the team essentially like through the end of the season, where you're just relatively lucky to get bowl eligible versus, talking about playing in Tampa, or going whatever. Now all of a sudden it's, I don't even know what, Las Vegas, the things are different, I think, now versus the way they were, 5-6 weeks ago. UCLA is a different team without the head coach you started the season with. Iowa's pretty good. And they come to Lincoln, the day after Thanksgiving. And I'll tell you what, Penn State gave them everything that they wanted last week. So, and obviously USC, going to be a massive recruiting weekend, and it's going to be a fabulous environment there on Saturday night. That's a pretty good team also that you got coming to Lincoln. And Northwestern, they've knocked off a couple teams too, and they're pretty well coached. And this is no easy thing to look at the last 5 games and just say they're going to win 3. Because that's kind of where my number was. My number was, I think I actually said 9. I think it's maybe, probably now between 7 and 8. Just kind of trying to figure this thing out from here on out, man. It's a tough last 5 games of the season.
From a recruiting perspective, you mentioned next week is going to be so big. I can't imagine that there's much on tap for this week, given it's an 11 a.m. game and it's not a terribly sexy opponent that comes to town. What has been the sort of build up to this USC game next week, which we'll have plenty of time to talk about it next Friday, but it feels like there is going to be a significant movement coming to Lincoln next Saturday.
Yeah, this week there is like over 20, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Like really surprised me. You do have some headliners this week. Quentin Hale, who's coming in from Los Angeles, California. He's a wide receiver. Khalil Taylor, a former 2027 commitment to Penn State, another wide receiver. Gabe Jenkins, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania linebacker. Amir Brown, former North Carolina commitment, recent North Carolina decommitment coming into town to this weekend. But I think that really on the 2026 side, the guys that need to be mentioned are Tadarius Hughes is coming back, who's a Florida State commit. Things aren't all that great down there in Tallahassee. And he was there, to Nebraska in June and said he would return. And this is another unofficial visit. DeMod Lewis, Charlotte, North Carolina edge. Nebraska's clearly still in the market for getting like an edge guy. And then Jamari Brown, a wide receiver from Fort Wayne, Indiana, Mount Carmel High School. He's coming in, and then a really nice athlete in Juju Johnson. But the next weekend, you're absolutely correct. The November 1st weekend is going to be big. Like we're hearing numbers, and I don't have that like about 10 or 12 of them currently right now, but we're hearing numbers like in the upwards of 50 to 60.
Whoa.
And when I'm saying that, like that, those are like cattle call numbers that you and I have kind of like talked about before. Like, hey, there's 85 guys in town this weekend.
Yeah, I thought those days were gone.
Yeah. But 12 of those guys have offers and the other 73 don't. You're never going to hear about them again. When we say that there's going to be 50, 60 guys in town next weekend, I'm saying that there's going to be over half, maybe even closer to 3/4 or 2/3 of those guys are already going to have offers.
Wow.
It's going to be this is really a massive weekend for Nebraska to kind of wrap things up when it comes to their fall schedule and kind of taking that next step towards what are they going to do in the winter months when it comes to junior days, and how do they kind of get things figured out for how they're going to kind of bring guys in the spring? Because it's despite having, a bad loss against Michigan at home. Bad, just the fact that you had a lot of players there and you didn't go the way you wanted to. I think everybody relatively has said that it's been one of the best places that they have visited so far this season. So, and this is coming from a very young group of 2027, 2028 guys. So I think it's now going to be like, wrap this thing up on a very big high note, have a great weekend, and then figure out what you're going to do in the winter and the spring.
Munson, like when you pull up Nebraska's page on On3 right now and you see that the team ranking is 63rd, like what does that mean to you at this moment in time?
You got to dive. It's not great. The optic of it is not great. The optic of seeing the 63rd top, I think it's last in the Big Ten. Last in the Big Ten, 63rd in the nation. Trying to still find the missing pieces that won't get them much past like 45, because you're really only. They're courting outside wide receivers, an inside slot guy, some defensive linemen, a couple of edges. They just offered a linebacker. They clearly want safety help. Oh yeah, and by the way, they reached out to CJ Bronow, who was the original commitment to Nebraska that flipped to Florida, and now, you know, obviously they're going through a head coaching change down there in Gainesville. So there might be 3 or 4, you know, open spots in the class, but that's it. And you don't really see it like marching up the list and cracking the top 25. Not by any chance. I mean, this class by just size alone is not going to get there.
Yeah,
it's going to be a middle of the pack. This is kind of what we expected. The team is very, very young. If you go look at the roster, it's an incredibly young roster. And you're hoping now to kind of add the next pieces, the next layer, and be a high quality group of 13, 14, 15 players. You can add to that are then, you know, almost some of those guys being some plug and play, maybe kind of figuring into more of a earlier playing time kind of scenario with some of them, like a Danny Odom, a long cornerback, that they're going to need some help at corner. That's why maybe a CJ Bronana makes sense to go get a second cornerback, you know, and safety obviously is a big issue. So, yeah, I think it's not going to get much better, to be honest with you, but this just kind of was always going to be the story for this year's class.
Yeah, and like you said, there's not a whole lot of upward mobility there. And then I look at like the top, for example. Here's the top 3 schools in the country right now in the team recruiting rankings on Rivals on 3. It is USC, who has 34 commits. I don't even know how that's possible. And Georgia with 29 commits and Notre Dame with 27 commits. And then pretty much everybody in the top 10 has at least 20 at this point. And like we said, Nebraska is sitting right now with 11 at the moment, right? So like there's some of that you just have to factor in, but you know, some of those at the top of the rankings are like, whoa, how is that even possible?
Nebraska's got a third as many commits as what USC does. I think North Carolina, heck, they had like
37 right now,
like that.
37.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, blow it out. I mean, I think that there's some things that some programs are able to do, like with front end loading when it comes to NIL and stuff like that. So they are doing that. But I mean, I think Nebraska feels good with where they're at. They know they got a young roster. They're plugging in some holes. They're going to be busy in the portal. I think you and I would agree. Like they could be interior offensive linemen. They could be tackle. They could be running back. They're going to definitely be wide receiver. They're going to be probably inside, outside on defensive line too. I mean, there could be another 7 guys when they start talking about taking another step forward. Let's say they get to 8 and you want to get to 10. You're not going to get away from not taking 7, 8, 9 guys in the portal. You're going to need them.
No doubt. Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. All right, Muntz, we'll let you go. I can't wait to talk about a big week next week. It'll be one of those old school, like, whoa, there's some attention on some recruiting this weekend, because that's what having a big game on campus is all about, and a blackout and all that stuff. I'm excited.
Totally, man. All right, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. He's got his section going on in Tunnel Talk right now. Well, like I said, I just looked at the recruiting rankings for the first time, so this is all shocking to me. I didn't know that Nebraska was 60. Like, I look at the page every now and then. I actually did not know that Nebraska was 63rd until I just bounced it off of him. And then USC has 34 commits. They're the number 1 class in the country right now. 34 commits. Like, I think there's also a part of this where you're like, well, how much does this actually mean? And like Munson said, you know, Nebraska's comfortable seemingly where they're at right now, and there are a lot of eggs in the basket of the last several games of the season here to pick up some momentum, and you could, you know, cash in on that from a recruiting standpoint, and especially next weekend. So next weekend loses a lot of juice if you lose tomorrow. All right,
don't do that.
You don't get next weekend with as much juice as you're going to. It's amazing the week that we've had here. Nebraska loses to Minnesota. Oh my God, the sky is falling. But if they win tomorrow, all of a sudden
we're back.
It's big game week again, right?
You're not going to juice.
They're 6-2. They're bowl eligible. Blackout night game. USC. You know, primary type of program in college football and all that stuff. Blackout. So it'll change pretty quick, as it tends to change for the negative when you lose the way Nebraska did on Friday. But yes, it's make no mistake about it. It's a big game tomorrow. All right. Speaking of Husker Online, Sipple will join us later on in the show, but we'll go over to the 24/7 side with Brian Christopherson of Husker 247. We'll do that when we come back right here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, Happer here for Underdog Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man, what a perfect time to talk about Underdog Fantasy, because there is, as we've talked about, football going on, but also basketball, fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties. They are all back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on the action. You can make picks and win money right now in the state of Nebraska. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. You get those picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. I'll take a look at the board for this weekend. Pick a player. Maybe it's Ryan Kalkbrenner. Higher on points, higher on rebounds, higher on blocks, higher on everything. Bill Simmons would do it. Maybe we'll hear that a little bit later on in the show. Check it out on Underdog Fantasy. Download the app today and use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing at terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hey, Brian.
Brian Christopherson.
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B. Rooney drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, a reminder, tomorrow, 1620, the pregame, 8:30 at the Blur Tailgate. John and Michael will have you until 10:30 on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg. Brought to you by Chandler Conway, PCLLO, and Sedoro Law Group. We're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by Brian Christopherson from Husker 247. BC, good to talk to you. How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. What have you made of just the week? Whether it be the conversation from the outside, the noise from the outside, it always gets a little doom and gloom around here when Nebraska loses and they play the way they did last Friday, but also from the inside, the quotes and players this week. Like, how has this all added up to you coming off of a pretty, I don't know, a ground shaking type of loss on Friday?
Yeah, it was an out of the norm sort of week. I don't know that I've heard a head coach, and it's not a bad thing, but sort of bring everybody into it, the assistants, the sort of the way Rule did on Monday, and challenge them, publicly at the podium, sort of the same way he did the players and himself, obviously. I don't remember it to that degree. And then just the quote about, like, if we're diving, for tackles and, giving up sacks, and I'd boo us, there will be people that take them up on that if they don't show up and perform. So that was obviously a big challenge to your team. And then you have Dylan come in, and speak about the players only meeting they had Sunday. And I think there was a real truth-telling session that went on there from the sounds of it. So honestly, I don't know what to make of all of it. Like, there's that part where people want to think like, well, they're good. This is going to fire them up. They're going to punch back in a big way, and they very well might do that. But it's a little different than most weeks I've covered, and because of that, you don't know exactly where their minds are at. I do think every week we say, well, it'd be important if they start strong, but considering all that was just mentioned, I think this week in particular, the Huskers need some success early, and that stadium will rally behind this team if they come out like that. But if not, how it can get in there sometimes.
So a couple different ways to look at this opponent on Saturday. Either a really bad opponent to play because they're sort of set up the way that Minnesota has been, except for maybe they're more committed to they're certainly more committed to the run game. Given Nebraska's weaknesses and all that we've talked about this year, doesn't necessarily look like an excellent matchup for Nebraska on paper. So bad opponent or good, considering, I mean, you almost get like a redo from last Friday. You can't take away the loss, but it's the same type of team. They absolutely have Nebraska's full attention given the week and all that we just mentioned. So BC, bad opponent or good this weekend to play in front of Nebraska?
I think it's a tricky opponent. I think they need to look at it to the second part of your question as a good opportunity to show that last week was an outlier and they can take down a similar type of opponent and their skill sets, and also have patience as a football team if it doesn't just come your way immediately, which is not what I expect whenever. I mean, obviously there was that strange game 4 years ago when Nebraska just ran Northwestern off the field, but most times since these two have been Big Ten mates, this thing is a tight game, and Northwestern will chew some clock, and you're going to be in a fight with 5 minutes left. And so that was an interesting part of the press conference, was just Rule's disappointment in his team's disappointment on last Friday, that it just didn't all go their way right away, sort of, and that they were in a 7-6 game and sort of didn't maybe have the right mindset for that. So That's where you want to see a change. If this is a game where you're down 3 points at half or early third quarter, can this be a different team in how they respond as opposed to last week and even like the UCLA game last year, where you sometimes buy into like it's our fate that this game is not going to go our way today. It was supposed to be easier than this. You want to see them take a baseball bat to that narrative or idea. So in that way, it's an opportunity. But I do think there's going to be a possession early in this game, where Nebraska moves it and they have it down around the 10 or 15 yard line. And it's going to be big, if they could punch that in and sort of get over that hurdle against the defense, by the way, that is pretty good in the red zone. They've only given up 7 TDs and only allowed teams in the zone 16 times. So they're like 15th in the country in that. So that's a matchup Nebraska's got to overcome.
We've seen a lot of cases where Nebraska gets into that territory right around where you just talked about, BC, like the 15, 20 yard line. It's 4th and 2, 4th and 3. You're like, let's go. Let's try and get a touchdown out of this. It's backfired a couple times. They've gotten it a couple times and then still not scored. This to me is a big take your points game. I just think Nebraska gets to that spot and they gotta be okay with taking 3. And maybe you ultimately have to roll around in the mud a little bit longer, but this is a Big Ten football game if there ever was one.
Yeah, I get your point there. I mean, I think, not to get it big into the betting lines, it's not a great thing to do 24 hours after yesterday's news, but I think it's like 44.5 they have as the points. And that sounds about right to me for how points will be at a premium when you can get them. And I think you make a good point there that, maybe if it's like a 4th and half a yard, maybe you're going for it. But if you're in that 4th and 2 situation, this might be a day where you take your 3 and know how valuable those could be with 3 minutes left.
When you have a week like this, there's always the intention, I think, the next game to have a sort of like rebirth or something like that, something fresh and something new, some sort of change, whether it be from a personnel standpoint or a recommitment to the run. What's Nebraska's thing this week that's different from how they approached things last Friday?
Maybe more patience with Emmett and just more like we're going to keep beating that drum, where it's like that 20 to 25 touch game for him. I just feel like he's the best thing going, where he's got this determination about him right now, where if you keep feeding him, I think every second or third play, he's going to give you something pretty valuable or something that puts you in a good down and distance. And like, if we go back to last week, the first drive of the second half, Emmett ripped off like a 15-yard run. Yeah. You're on Minnesota's like 40-yard line. You feel like, okay, they've come out of the break and they actually got something going here. And they had a play they liked where they actually got the ball to Barney on the next one, but he got tackled in space. Then they missed a deep shot to Dane Key that could have been a touchdown. All those plays work on paper, and they honestly could have worked for explosives for Nebraska if you had executed a little bit better. So that would be the counter argument to why they did what they did. But there's that part of me that says when Emmett rips off that 10 to 15 yarder, feed him 2 or 3 more times in a row. Yes. Just keep going with it. And because you haven't proven that you're necessarily going to execute that deep throw to Dane Key or whatever that is there on paper. And so I thought that was one of the most interesting comments Rule made on Monday, is that quote where he was like, what can we do, as opposed to not looking at it like this is really good versus that coverage, like where you feel like you've got him out beat on the grease board. But sometimes it's just line up and go with your best guy. The 21's their best guy right now, I feel like. And I just want to see him get get in that 20s touches category, I think, this game.
So related conversation then, I mean, there's been a lot of talk that as much as everyone says, yeah, you just got to run it. And I completely agree. You got to give it to Emmett. He's the best thing going. Totally. But there's also been this conversation about, it's 10 catches over the last 3 games for Barney and Key combined. I mean, it's funny because they have a lot of options. And I think in some cases, that is sort of a lot on the table and a lot of mouths to feed. There's no doubt about that. And it's still one of those things where you're like, yeah, I want those guys to get their touches too.
Yep. That's where a coach would be like, okay, what do you want? Like, yeah, right. I get this opinion here. Like, you want Emmett to get it 23 times. Noted. Okay. Now you want Ja'Cory to get it 6 to 8 times, right? Okay. Dane Key needs 5, right? So, I get that. You do have to sort of let it come to you. Like, there are those parts where I think you want to involve like Dane and Ja'Cory early if you can, get them a touch, kind of get that feeling going. I'm talking more specifically though about like those drives, those moments where you feel like you've got a running back who's getting downhill a little bit. Like, I'd love to see a drive like that where the back touches it like 6 to 8 times on that drive. If you can muster one of those in a game. And that doesn't mean there aren't going to be other opportunities on other possessions for the others, but you bring up a good question, and it's the back and forth that, is had every week. Like, you want guys to get touches. People want all these players to get touches. Some weeks it's just not going to happen, but who is that hot hand? Find a way to feed that hot hand as best you can. A couple of weeks ago was Isaiah Hunter. They did a nice job with that. Let's see if they can do that again, whoever may arise as that guy.
Another thing based off of the quotes this week from John Butler as we flip over to the defensive side, given how Northwestern wants to play it, which is, they're not terribly explosive on the ground, but they're just going to keep coming at you. Nebraska's conversation from this past week has been, we sort of lost our aggressiveness in there a little bit. How do those two things sort of come together this week, knowing how Northwestern wants to beat you by just possessing the football? Nebraska feel like they're the best version of themselves when they're attacking and getting turnovers. And can they, do they have the ability to maybe punch one out this week? I guess, how do you see those two things sort of colliding?
Yeah, I think they're going to be more aggressive, whatever that looks like to John Butler. I think also you don't want this to happen, but if Northwestern does bust a big one, I think you're going to see him be more patient with like, no, I believe in what we're going to do and how we're going to attack, and we're going to keep doing it this way. Because that was the quote that stuck out from him, was how maybe he backed off a little bit of what he wanted to do in that game Friday after the 71-yard run.
Yep.
And you can understand why that happened. But the fact that he said that out loud and that was on his mind, to me, suggests if that situation arises again, you're not going to see him maybe change the path that they plan to be on. So it's got to be a game, though, where like those corners and DBs have to be really sharp, because the guy who I think Nebraska fans need to worry about is number 17,
yep.
Griffin Wilde. He's like one of those receivers that is just going to get you for like 7 catches for about 105 yards, where it's just like, feels like sometimes it's just paper cuts, but the old death by paper cut line. And he has that ability, I think. And so, last week, Minnesota went after Donovan Jones. They realized he was a redshirt freshman, and they got him on some of those shallow crossing routes. So I'm anxious to see like how a young player like that responds. And Sierra Wright has been really good this year, and he's one of the leaders on this team. He missed a few tackles, and so those guys just have to be really sharp and on point. And you talk about sending an early message. I think if they can have a series or two early where you see like Donovan Jones like just snuff out a play and tackle it for 1 yard gain or something like that, I think that's going to be a big deal for this defense to have a series like that if they can get it, that 3 and out early, where maybe a couple guys who had tough games a week ago start to feel a little bit better about themselves.
It's a fascinating one tomorrow morning. BC, we'll let you go. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Hap. Always enjoy it.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 247. Anytime. If BC wants to come on 4 times a week, we'd allow it. Yeah. I love chatting with BC.
Let's see that. Mix it up.
BC will be up there tomorrow in the old press box, the old gray lady, listening to Kyle and Damon in his
is
headphones.
he a radio guy
yeah,
during
he
the
is
game? Okay.
locked. He might be the most locked person in the press box. He doesn't say hardly anything to anybody around him.
That's a high distinction in that press box, I would imagine.
He might just be. Now I don't sit near like the World Herald and the Journal Star writers are they got seat 1 and I got seat like 90 or something like that. So we're up by the internet writers.
We're bums.
And yeah, out of anybody around in that area, he might be the most locked. He's so locked.
BC.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt is wondering why I didn't ask for his prediction. I don't know. I don't really consistently do that. I probably
we don't
should.
normally do that.
I think I have probably once or twice this year, but I didn't. You could. You know what? Why don't you go to 247sports.com/college/Nebraska and you will be able to find BC's prediction there. You can listen to the Hypecast. His prediction will be there. Go listen to and read BC's content. That's what I would say. That's where you can find his prediction. All right. Once again, Sipple's going to join us a little bit later. Our Keys and Peas history lesson still to come on the show today. Also, Creighton tickets if you are interested in that sort of thing.
Honk, honk.
Also, congratulations to our dear friend Platcat.
Platcat?
He won Blur Party tailgate tickets this week.
He's going to party with us.
We want to party with you. Let's go. Exciting. He sent us a tweet a little while ago. So congratulations. If you're one of the listeners of the many, many shows that we have here on 1620 The Zone, we want you to win as well. All right, we'll be back. Josh has the odd news when we return on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys?
It's time once again to follow your imagination at the Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch. Climb aboard a hayride and wind through a fall forest with spooky scenes, straight to the pumpkin patch where you can pick your pumpkin, priced by the size, not the pound. There's tons of fall fun on the farm this year. Kids can explore our pirate shipwreck and check out
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right. I can't wait to get the odd news. Feel like I haven't seen any odd news over the last couple days. So
really?
Good thing I have Josh to keep me updated.
You've been on the show, yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Just hold up real quick. I have to send this text, and I have to send it right now.
Okay. I'll hold on.
Okay. The text is sent.
Bo, this is Bam on, right? I don't like how there's YouTube things doing the ats now.
I don't like this.
Rename the show the Yukon Cornelius Show.
Good take.
That's who Happer resembles.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
I do. There's no doubt about that. I'm
Popcorn
sorry.
throat.
Popcorn. I got a second bag. I don't care.
Get the popcorn lung. We begin with World Series Media Day and your boy Vinny Pasquantino, one of 3 big leaguers serving as correspondents for the 2025
Who are
World
the other 2
Series.
bums?
That's a great question. I don't know that I have them on my list here. So it seems very unimportant. During Media Day Thursday in Toronto, Pasquantino had questions for Shohei Ohtani. Pasquantino noted that he faced the 2 fastest pitches Ohtani has ever thrown 2 years apart. World Baseball Classic, we faced each other. And with Kansas City this year, why do you throw so hard to me? Why? Why do you hate me? He said.
Great question. What did he say?
Ohtani responded via his translator.
Not Ipe.
You're just a really good hitter. I have to. Pasquantino quipped back.
Oh, that's good.
That's not good enough. You throw too hard.
Stop it. In case you guys aren't aware, I mean, Vinny is a great, he just seems like an awesome hang. He's one of those guys. He's a great personality, but he's one of those people who, he's like you and me, except for he's a Major League Baseball player.
Right.
I love guys like that. He loves the Jets. He watches the radio.
That's right.
He goes on radio shows and he's just got a personality about him. He's just a dude.
You said he was starting a TikTok?
He said that today.
Oh, okay.
He said, follow me on TikTok. I'm like user 8942006 or something like that. So yeah. And then he was also looking to give away a couple World Series tickets today.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Vinny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's doing this whole MLB correspondent thing big.
He is. Good for him. We go to the Thursday night football last night.
By the way.
Oh, yeah, please.
Hockey Dad writes in.
Hi, Hockey Dad.
Isn't it well past the time that Shohei can speak English and dump the interpreter? He can.
He can. He chooses not to.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need the interpreter anymore. He likes to have the meat shield.
He does. Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't?
Al Michaels found himself in a little bit of hot water last night. He was doing pretty well. He seemed alert. He seemed coherent. But then towards the end of the game, Minnesota attempted a 51-yard field goal. I'm sorry. A few weeks back, Minnesota attempted a 51-yard field goal against the Cleveland Browns in London, and the camera appeared to have hit a camera wire.
Oh, yeah. That's right. It appeared. Why do you say that?
Because the NFL,
they denied.
They don't want you saying that, because when
of course
the Vikings kicker went out there last night, what's his name? Reichert. His only miss this year was when he hit a wire with the camera in London. So the kick goes up and it goes in, and they line up for the kickoff afterwards. Al Michaels comes in.
Oh, did he say something?
And he said, the league wants to take my lunch away because I said before that his only miss was hitting a wire in London. No. That was an optical illusion, I'm told.
Ow!
So someone got in his ear and said, that's misinformation, fake news.
Wow.
You retracted immediately.
Al does not give a rip. I love it.
And he said, I called the miracle on ice B word.
He should have said that. Do you remember me? I bet
you eat vegetables too, don't you, producer?
Kirk must feel like the coolest person on earth sitting next to him for a couple hours.
Yeah.
He's some NFL exec comes up to him, he's like, could you not, please? And he's like, whatever, watch me. What are you gonna do? Fire me?
I saw the way the ball bounced and hit a wire.
Yeah. That's great stuff. Thank you, Al. Way to stand up against the man.
Yes. And finally, there was a bit of a longer read on ESPN.com today about the head chefs at various college football facilities throughout our great nation.
Okay.
There were some good things revealed. There were some very, very troubling things revealed.
Okay.
We go to LSU, where head chef Michael Johnson celebrates Gumbo Mondays.
Whoa.
That he said that was a requirement. That was not me placating to the players. That was a requirement. The LSU puts their chefs' photos on the athletics page, just like the athletes. Okay. I didn't know if you thought that would be fun or not.
I don't know. I didn't have a comment. No.
We go to Colorado, where Chef Carl Solomon would like you to know that Dion likes his steak well done. How do we feel about that, Nebraska?
I encounter a lot of people who like their steak well done.
That
doesn't mean they're worse people. It just means that I disagree.
Mm-hmm. Clemson head chef Dalton Ledford was asked what what's the thing you look at as the most successful thing you've done during your time here at Clemson.
Good question.
And he said, well, recently in the last couple of years, I've converted Dabo off of well done steak. We cook it medium for him now, and he prefers it that way. Quote, he told me, hey, this isn't leathery anymore.
That is most of the time. I'll say most of the time. That is most of the time the issue with people who like their steak well done. It's just that they've never had it medium rare or whatever, and they don't care to find out because the pink, the red bothers them or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. What they don't know is that it tastes better and feels better in your mouth.
Finally, we go to Missouri, where head chef Joe Maroney used to be the head chef at the Pentagon. Ever heard of it?
Yes. Chance.
He says that at Missouri, he works at least 48 weeks a year. And he said, I had more days off at the Pentagon.
Well, of course you did. You worked in government.
Missouri taxpayers don't shut down.
What do you mean you work Missouri at least 48 program. Weeks a year? Everyone works. But you get more than 4 weeks of vacation?
He's feeding athletes 48 weeks a year is what he said, which obviously they're not in school for 48. But
boo-hoo. How many weeks do you work a year, Josh? 51, I think.
50, 51.
Yeah. You take a couple days off, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
smattering.
You took 1 week off this year.
I did.
So you're down to 50.
50.
Oh, I work 48 weeks out of the year. It's okay. It'll be all right. But yes, it is different than it used to be. I think that was probably his point.
Probably.
Sorry.
No.
Not to minimize young, what's his name?
Joe Maroney.
Joe Maroney. All right. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. The noon hour is coming up. How about a history lesson?
Oh.
Would you like to flash back to the 2000 Alamo Bowl? Josh was there.
I was there. I had my chest painted.
He could tell you about what Dan Alexander did to the Wildcats that day. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the game in 1902. A history lesson coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
He has the latest sports news, expert analysis, award-winning commentary, and a pocket full of cabbage.
Can you give us an indication why?
Just in case there's a sauerkraut emergency.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Got an email from John on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
Who cares that the Missouri chef works over 48 weeks a year? The work can't be that hard. He's cooking for people in Missouri. It can't be anything other than pudding, oatmeal, and soup. They can't eat anything without teeth.
I famously have teeth.
You do. And that's why you don't eat soup.
That's correct.
I like a soup from time to time, Josh, and I too have teeth. I have teeth.
It's weird.
I have teeth and I like soup. Every once in a while you drink your food. You know, it happens. But that was a good joke by John. I liked it.
Good joke, John.
Also, Mr. Portugal, Travis, sent in a picture of his beer from Portugal. Once again, I'm just
because it's like 10 at night over there.
Well, I mean, it looks like the sun is still out.
10 at night.
What time is it in Portugal?
I think he said 7 hours earlier this week. Someone asked him the same question. It's a natural reaction.
6 o'clock. 6 hours ahead in Lisbon, anyway.
Lisbon. It's 6 o'clock, he says.
6 o'clock. Perfect. It's One Beer Friday. One Beer Friday will start at 8 p.m. for him.
That's a good spot.
But it's already underway in Portugal. It's this afternoon. All right, welcome back, everybody. Friday, here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Don't forget, stay tuned. We'll have your tickets to Creighton in Colorado State tomorrow. And if you haven't hit the zone deal this week, you're probably running out of time to do so. For the Woodcliff Restaurant, of course, 2 $25 gift vouchers, which is a $50 value for just $25. The zone deal online, as always, 1620thezone.com. All right, time for our history lesson. Nebraska and Northwestern have met 13 times since the Huskers joined the Big Ten. It has been a one-score game 10 times. However, Northwestern hasn't won in Lincoln since 2017. Since the Mike Riley era, Scott Frost did a lot of bad things.
Yes,
he never lost to Northwestern in Lincoln.
Okay.
In Lincoln. He did lose to them in Dublin and Evanston, but not Lincoln. So congratulations to Scott. Nice job. Their first meeting, Wildcat, well, I guess they weren't the Wildcats at the time. You'll find out what they are here in just a moment.
Oh. I haven't read the script yet.
Yeah, you're going to like it.
It's just so big.
The first time that these two teams met was 1902. I love it when we get the flashback to 1902. And for some reason, the Minneapolis Journal was covering this game, or at least the story ran in the Minneapolis Journal.
That would be odd.
The World Herald ran a story as well. We'll get to that soon.
Is there a Husker Game Max?
There is, and they link all these things, so we appreciate them. There is no pull quotes.
No pull quotes.
No pull quotes.
Interesting.
Not a lot of information to go off of. So 1902, Nebraska 12, Northwestern 0. Let the writer of this article, aka 1940s man, give you a good picture of how that 12-0 Husker win unfolded.
The football season of 1902 at the University of Nebraska was terminated yesterday in a blaze of glory. The unbeaten Cornhuskers administered a decisive defeat to the Northwestern University 11, scoring 12 points and emerging from the contest with their own goal lines still uncrossed. Booth, the Nebraska coach, and his pupils charged that Hall, the umpire, ex-captain of Illinois University, was grossly unfair. Hey, things never change. 11 times the Cornhuskers were penalized.
Very unfair.
For holding the punishment each time.
Holding, 7 of which were for holding. They didn't do very good at punctuation back in the day.
Idiots. The punishment each time being the loss of the ball. Most of the penalties came after Nebraska had carried the ball far into the opponent's territory, and the surrender of the oval absolutely precluded any possibility of piling up a score on the Methodists. A summary of gains scored by both teams shows that Nebraska advanced the ball 336 yards as opposed to 124 for Northwestern. Twice the Methodists held Nebraska for downs and compelled a punt, while the Cornhuskers defense was of sufficient virility either to capture the ball on downs or force Baird to punt on 7 different occasions. Hollister, Northwestern's coach, in discussing the game said, quote, Northwestern was in good physical condition, all things considered, and the men came nearer playing to the limit of their capability than any time during the year.
Wow.
I believe we would have scored in the first half with a minute or two longer to play.
If only the game was longer.
Booth, Nebraska's coach, said, quote, Nebraska did not play her game today, but Northwestern put up such a surprising front that a big score was out of the question.
And this set the tone for the future 16 matchups between these two teams, where one thing always seems to come to the forefront. Nebraska, a better, more physically capable, talented team with more facilities and money and all these things. Nebraska, the bigger football operation than Northwestern, always has been, always will be, and was in 1902. But as described by 1940s man in 1902, this already was beginning. Northwestern playing greater than the sum of their parts. Nebraska wasn't their best day. Nebraska still got out of there with a 12-0 win. But this has been a theme in basically all the games that they've played against each other since then. Nebraska, big bad Nebraska coming in, playing little tiny baby Northwestern, and something happens in the game where you're like, oh, wow, look at Northwestern today, huh? They're gonna really do it to them. And that is a consistent theme across this great rivalry. There was also an Omaha World Herald story for this game that took place at Antelope Field in Lincoln. Nebraska, in a hard-fought game this afternoon, defeated Northwestern University of Chicago and Umpire Hall of Louisville, Kentucky. So they co-opted, I think, for this game. I don't know. By a score of 12-0. There was no fluke so far as points were concerned, as the Cornhuskers earned everything they got and then some. And tonight, the Scarlet and Cream waves over the purple. The game was spectacular from beginning to end. One of the chief features being the manifest unfairness of Umpire Hall, who penalized Nebraska 11 times for holding and offside plays, giving the pigskin 7 times to the purple and penalizing the Cornhuskers. It was a bright, clear day. The air was just right for the bleachers and the grandstand, although a little too warm for the players. 6,000 people filed every niche of available seating capacity and crowded against the fence in an effort to see the big contest. It was the biggest and most brilliant assemblage that ever gathered on Nebraska's field at the moment. Nebraska did not play the game she was capable of playing against Minnesota and the Haskell Indians. Now, this was the week before, I believe. Captain Westover, the balance wheel of the team, was in the game, but with a game leg that had been operated on 3 times in the past 10 days for an abscess. Benedict was in at quarter, but he was handicapped by a sprained knee that had been placed in only passable condition by thorough baking's time after 24 hours before the game. Fulmer was in at left end, Shed having been retired some weeks ago by an attack of typhoid fever. But make no mistake, Shed was at the game. Shed was brought on, I don't know who Shed is. Shed was on the field in a carriage and watched the game from the sidelines, wrapped in blankets and attended by 2 doctors and his father. His appearance was the cause for loud and prolonged cheering, joined in vociferously by his teammates. Can you believe that? They had a guy who got typhoid fever. He showed up.
You don't want to play this week?
In a carriage wrapped in blankets.
Let me tell you, we had a guy on this team back in the day had typhoid fever.
It really puts it all in perspective. Now, he didn't play.
But he wanted to give it a go.
Is Rocco Spindler this week's Shed?
Great poll question.
I don't think it will make sense to literally anybody unless you're listening at this exact moment.
Shed, S-H-E-D, like a
S-H-E-D-D.
D-D, double D.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So that was the story of that game. And then the Northwestern coach, Hollister, he was described by the World Herald as reticent after the game. He had hoped that his men would score and was disappointed. He seemed inclined to criticize the Cornhuskers for rough play, but it was apparent that his pupils were as great offenders as were the protégés of Coach Booth. From the beginning to the end of the progress of the play was punctuated by long waits while rules were discussed with the officials. Let me introduce you to media timeouts in the future. So the game started at 2:30, and they said this game was really, really long, way too long.
That's what it sounds like.
It ended at 5.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
Nope. Just wait till you get around to the real time right now. So here you go. Typhoid fever. Northwestern playing better than everybody expected him to. I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense to me. And then we go to so from there, by the way, Nebraska. Hold on. Nebraska lost the return visit in 1931, 19-7. They played each other in 1974 in the regular season in Lincoln, and then in the Alamo Bowl in 2000. Josh was there.
I was.
What was on your chest, Josh?
Me and a couple guys had Huskers written on our chest. We were
okay. You spelled it out like guy by guy?
Yeah. And as I was walking through the concourse, an elderly lady pinched my nipple. It really bothered me at the time.
In the Alamo Dome?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
No, I was like 15.
Have you ever gotten 15. Your nipple pinched in the Alamo Dome?
Great bowl question.
66-17. Dan Alexander ran for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. It was just a regular old day at the yard for Eric Crouch. He ran for just about 100. So then they did not meet again until the infamous 2011 Kane Coulter game, as it is now known as. Tough day that day for a one-loss Nebraska team who was rolling at the time. And they played every single year until last year. I believe that was them in Iowa. That was the one team they played every single year since being in the Big 10. Nebraska won 3 straight from 12, 13, and 14, lost in 15, won in 16. Northwestern won in 17 and 18. Nebraska won in 19. Northwestern won in 20, but we don't talk about it. Northwestern won in 20. We don't talk about it. Nebraska won in 21. I'm sorry. Northwestern won in 22. That's the one we don't talk about. And then Nebraska won in 23, 17-9. And therein lies your history lesson, Josh.
A lot of history between these two teams, more than I thought.
There is a little bit of history. Typhoid fever is included.
Didn't think we'd be talking about that on the show today.
Got an email from John on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
Scott Frost had a quarterback with lupus, and he was man enough to play.
That's right.
That is true. John also texts in, did Lee write the 1902 Omaha World Herald story? He was the writers back in the day really tended to, they didn't care about their access getting taken away like our current writers.
Right.
So they just told it how it was.
Not sensational enough.
They weren't trying to do clickbait. They were just telling it exactly how it was. Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
Responding to 1940s man. 1940s man went Irish a couple times there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you were.
Oh,
it was a long one. I gave you a long one today.
That's okay.
You slipped a little bit, but it was good.
Okay,
it was good. Also, Norm writes in.
Norm,
did they say that holding used to require you to give up the ball?
That's what I thought I read too. I wasn't comprehending what I was reading at times.
I would think that it was just, like they got holding on 4th down or something like that, or holding on 3rd down, or whatever it might be, and then they had to punt. I think that's what it was. 336 yards of offense was an explosion in 1902.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean, that's running up and down the field, ladies and gentlemen. But only getting 12 points out of that? I mean, hopefully it's not a precursor to what we see tomorrow.
Better not.
Nebraska needs yards, and they need to turn them into points tomorrow.
Yards and points.
If they only
Points
score
and
12
yards.
tomorrow, we're in big trouble. Big trouble. So there we are. We are now we have arrived at 2025, and it's a big game for Nebraska and Northwestern. When we come back, we'll have our keys to the game. Yes, we have arrived at that point in the show.
Wow, already.
Steve Sipple will join us at the 1 o'clock hour. We still have plenty to get to today on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
You know, 1902, you think they would have been thinking about a world where Vanderbilt and Missouri was the game of the week and one of the games of the week in college football?
Oh, wow. Yeah, great question.
I mean, I didn't even think that was possible in 1992, 2002, 2022. And here we are in 2025 where Missouri and Vandy has the eyes of America. 2:30 on ABC on Saturday. Or the other two SEC games that are big this weekend as well. The SEC kind of I've noticed on our big picks, which we'll do in about an hour, in our weekend picks, it's a lot more SEC heavy than I would prefer.
Oh. Michigan and Yale were selected as national champions in 1902.
Selected? What do you mean?
College,
Did they pay them?
1902 had no clear-cut champion, with the official records book listing Michigan and Yale as having been selected national champions.
Does Michigan claim
voted
that?
on? Good question.
How many natties does Michigan claim? Because I know they have 0 actual ones.
Whoa.
Or a half of one, I guess.
Well, didn't they just win one?
I guess they did. Sorry, that's outdated information.
Yeah.
They did just win one, yeah.
Why won't it just take me to Michigan football?
Yeah, go to the Wikipedia and see what Michigan's claiming.
Claim national titles, 12 of them.
Yeah, garbage.
01, 02, 03, 04, 18, 23, 32, 33, 47, 48, 97, and 2023.
Yeah, so they have 1.5.
7 that they've thrown out the window and won't claim.
What's that mean? Like they could claim it, but they won't?
Yes.
That is stupid. That is stupid. They have one. What? Oh, we're the coolest program of all time. We're Michigan, man, and we have our winged helmets. You have 1.5 national championships. You are garbage, and the one is tainted because you cheated, and the other half you would have lost. You know that.
You know.
0, no natties for Michigan. Imagine being a program with no natties. Nary a natty for Michigan. Nary a natty. That's what we should call them. All right. Couple Husker questions for you as we go on throughout the rest of the show today. And, of course, for our good friend Steve Sipple from Husker Online coming up in just a little bit. Also, stick around. We still have Creighton tickets for you all. Let's get to our keys to the game. Brought to you by Could Be You.
Could be you. Maybe you run a car dealership and you have a lot of keys lying around.
You know what? Today, actually, it's brought to you by Severe Reaction. Thank you, Michael, for sponsoring our keys to the game. Severe Reaction, Sunday morning, 8 to 10 on 1620 The Zone, hosted by Michael Severe. And that show is brought to you by Equitable Bank and Nebraska Medicine.
We're all helping each other here.
Exactly. All right, so these 3 keys will have the same first word in all of them.
Okay, that's the theme. That's the through line.
That's our theme. That's our through line this week. Take your layups. Key number 1 this week. They're in no specific order, by the way. Take your layups. Talking about Nebraska offensively. Northwestern is a pretty standard, classic, bend but don't break defense. Now, when I say this sentence, some might say, oh, you're really testing fate here, Happer. So listen closely. They're not going to cause very much disruption on defense.
Oh, no.
I know. I know what I'm doing. And I know that I'm tempting fate. That's the kiss of death. But they haven't so far this year. So that's what I'm going off of. That is the information that I have to go off of. Okay? And Nebraska's been sometimes good protecting the quarterback.
And sometimes good.
And sometimes horrendous. Like Friday night against Minnesota. So think about like the Cincinnati game. Nebraska's just, if they're throwing the ball, they're going to be doing some of that. I know everyone wants to run it 68 times in this game, but you're going to have to throw it a little bit to win. Take that underneath stuff. Take your simple 5 to 6 yard gains, live with it, and continue to possess the ball offensively. Because the more that you're possessing the ball, the less they're possessing the ball. And then you don't want that to happen because then you can't possess the ball. You want the ball. The ball is the goal. That's what Nebraska wants to have. Take your layups, extend drives, win on third down, and we'll cover this in a later key, but get your points when you have the opportunity to. Take your layups. Key number 2. You know the song
Take on Me?
Could have been an option here.
Okay.
But no, I was thinking, give it away now. Take it away now.
Take it away.
Remix. Take it away now.
Love it.
Northwestern when you look at them from a statistical standpoint, like their statistical profile, they're kind of amazing. It's like a modern marvel what they're doing. But the truth is, in their losses, they've been horrific. And in their wins, they've been classic Northwestern. So when you look at them from a turnover perspective, you're like, oh, they put the ball in harm's way quite a lot. But that might not be the full truth. They've turned it over 11 times this year, which is bottom third of the country.
Hello.
Nebraska obviously needs more in that category. But over the last 4 games in which Northwestern has won, their 4-game winning streak, Preston Stoner has just 1 interception during that period of time. So I want to see how that, if Nebraska can kind of get them out of their comfort zone a little bit, offensively. And in order to do that, you're going to have to win on first and second. Early down success rate is a really big deal because they obviously want to run it. They want to run it and everybody wants to run it in short yardage situations or shorter yardage situations. And so Nebraska's got to be successful in the first couple downs as to not let them get there. And when they do, when Nebraska does that, when they don't allow success on early downs, they'll say we're in 3rd and 10 or deeper than that or 8. There's going to be your opportunity for a pick, right? I think Nebraska is going to dial it up a little bit here, get downhill, get aggressive on defense. At least that's my read into the comments this week. Get him back behind the chains on 3rd down, make him throw it. And if we're adding bonus points here, try and make them throw it to somebody not named Griffin Wilde, number 17. Have you heard about this man?
Griffin Wilde?
Yeah, Griffin Wilde. He is dope. He is kicking ass. He played at South Dakota State the last couple of years where his quarterback was
Gronowski.
Mark Gronowski. His quarterback is now Preston Stone, and he's been excellent this year for Northwestern. So they always have like a short white guy that you have to worry about. Wide receiver, sorry, don't know how it is. I'm like a 1902 writer here. They always have a short white guy. They have to worry about wide receiver, like the Flynn Nagels of the world. They always kill you. This is your Flynn Nagel of the year.
Good award.
Flynn Nagel of the year is Griffin Wilde, number 17. So watch out for that guy.
Okay.
And then take your points.
Take your points.
Take your layups. Take it away. Take your points. Field goals. Josh, field goals.
They're okay.
It might be the difference in this one. It might be frustrating. You might have to fight Dylan Raiola when he's saying it's 4th down. He's doing the Mahomes hand sign thing. And he's like, give it. He comes off the field. He's like, no, coach, I want another one. No, Dylan, you come over here. Get off the field. It's 4th and 3.
Have some Takis and some iPad time.
It's 4th and 3. We're on the 28-yard line. We will take our 3 points in this game. Once Nebraska gets past the 40-yard line in this game, it needs to be points. This is an area, obviously, where Nebraska has struggled all year long, but in large part because they've gone for it and been unsuccessful in these situations. And it's, in my mind, I defended a lot of those decisions. And it's
famously.
It's still situational, but this game in particular, where the opposing offense is, not like a terrific explosive threat or anything like that, and you want to make it difficult for them to score touchdowns, you just got to take your points in this one.
You also want to force them to score touchdowns by
correct
scoring as much as you can whenever you can.
Take your points. All right? Take your points. Nebraska's got to take it on Saturday. All right. Let's see. We got some text here. What's this? Missed the horrific losses to prolific wins. That's from Kevin.
Good take, Kevin.
Horrific losses to prolific wins. Jesse writes in.
Hi, Jesse.
Back on a history lesson, he says in 1902, Nebraska played Lincoln High in an exhibition. Woof. Now Lincoln High won't even play Millard South. Sorry. It was right there. I had to do it. Anything else from the YouTube that we should get to from our keys to the game?
No. I'm just looking over the 1902 season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 4 teams in Nebraska's conference went undefeated.
Now, just to clarify here, did they play Minnesota the week before they played Northwestern?
No, they did play Minnesota that season.
Yeah, because that was what one of the articles mentioned. Like they had a stink bomb game, right?
They won 6-0.
Stink bomb. You got to beat Minnesota by more than that.
If you'll just allow me just to do some brief math here.
Okay,
I have a stat that will
blow my mind.
Yes, your feeble little mind.
Okay, excellent.
Let's see, 16, 7, 12.
Are you doing math as like points scored versus points against?
Yes, it's 193-0.
Nebraska didn't allow any points in 1902?
That is correct.
All right. Well, that would help you win games.
They went to Colorado, shut them out. Minnesota, Missouri, Kansas, something called Knox.
Of
Northwestern.
course, Knox. 0 points the whole season?
The whole season.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, so question for you guys. This is something that will bounce off our dear friend Steve Sipple coming up at the top of the hour. What happens if Nebraska gives up a bunch of sacks?
Connor.
What? I just want to do situation alert.
Okay.
Scenario alert. You're playing a team that has
win or lose.
They lost. Let's say they lose.
Oh.
They give up a bunch of sacks, they lose.
We're gonna have a bad week.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a bad week. But it's not me I'm worried about, Josh.
Oh, really?
It's not me I'm worried about.
Okay. How selfless of you. Who are you worried about?
I can take it, right? I can take it. A lot of my takes from this week would have not aged terrifically.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced that Nebraska is in for a bounce back game. As I have been since like Tuesday of this week. But whatever. We can catch those when we get to it. But I'm saying to a team that hasn't really caused much disruption up front this year on the defensive side, you're going to hear a loud and clear conversation about Donnie, and it will be warranted.
Donnie.
It will be warranted at that point, I think. You know, I'm really not a fire anybody guy at any point, you know, which is why I'm always like, yeah, I just need more data on this, you know?
Scott Frost needed more time.
Scott, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I had to, we knew it by then. But you look at the offensive line and it's not just poor. I think the thing that bothers me about when people want to fire coaches is if like, oh, the wide receivers had a bad game today, I think we need a new wide receiver coach. Like that's not how it works. But you look at it as a total package, and if it happens consistently and over a long period of time, and mostly it's this for me with the play. It's not so much that like they are bad. Of course, you could make that argument. The offensive linemen are just bad. It more reflects on coaching to me that there are so many miscommunications up front. It just feels like, and last week was not the first time that we saw that. You know, guys just trying to block the wrong guys. And there's some of this that just happens in football games, right? So you have to take that into account. But that's the stuff where you're like, ooh, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? And why can't, and then you ask, all right, why can't Nebraska recruit and develop offensive line talent, right? And why does it seem to be kind of in this constant state of like, oh boy, this is really no good. Like if Nebraska doesn't clean their act up on Saturday, I think there needs to be probably a real conversation about the offensive line coach. Depending on how it all works. And as you know, Josh, that conversation about the offensive line coach is complicated.
Oh, really? What do you mean by that?
It is complicated because he is the He's the Unk. He is Unk. He
Coach
is
Unk.
He is Unk of the starting quarterback and of the committed quarterback.
Well, the programs hold this whole university hostage.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Nebraska can afford to, like, if they feel like that's the way they have to go, they can't afford to like think about what happens when if you do that and the ramifications of it. Nebraska needs to get their offensive line right, obviously. So that's a conversation for next week, if and when we get there. But no doubt about it, it'll be loud, clear, and probably deserved at that point, if and when we get there. So the best path forward is for the Huskers to just play a nice, clean operation on Saturday and don't give up too many sacks. Now, they are going to give up like 2 sacks in this game, and people are going to lose their asses.
That first one's going to be bad. Get off the social media. Get off the Twitter.
Don't, like, if I'm asking for specific things, don't take a sack on the first possession.
Yes.
Yeah. Like whatever it is you have to do to avoid a sack on the first possession, like max protect, bringing a tight end on each side, like stack it up. You cannot get sacked in the first possession.
There's a few things you have to do on the first drive tomorrow to just kind of exhale a little bit.
We're in a game again.
You have to get a first down. You have to run the ball at least once, and you cannot take a sack.
I think you got to do it probably more than first play of the game. First play of the game to be a run is the highest odds it's ever been.
Yes.
The highest odds it's ever been at the University of Nebraska. And I'm not talking about RPO crap. I'm talking about run.
Handoff up the middle.
Yep. There's never been better odds. Let's take a phone call here on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, and that's where we find John this afternoon. Hey, John.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I'll live with 2 sacks. I was thinking that in my mind. I can live with 2 sacks. But, yeah, for sure, not that first drive. Please, not the first drive. We're talking these doomsday scenarios. Huskers lose this game. They have the season probably down the tubes. But one thing I'd say, if I'm Coach Rule, I'm just going to the players, say, okay, we lose this game, this blackout, these black uniforms are going back in the box.
Oh.
I'm wearing black uniforms. Put them in the box. If you lose this game, no black uniforms.
Interesting. John, thank you for the call. Now, you can't. You've already done it. It's done, right? It wasn't like a surprise we're wearing black uniforms. Like Nebraska, from an athletic department perspective, has embraced this.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it. And there's going to be other stuff in the game that is red and will be black next Saturday. And that takes time and effort to do. I don't mind the idea.
I like the idea.
The alternate uniforms have been used as like a dangling carrot many, many times in not only Nebraska's history, but everybody's history. When Frost was here, they were remember their whole deal? They were going to wear black uniforms when the defense played good, like as a reward to the defense. It's just like never really happened. Which, what a weird time. But yeah. So to answer your question, John, like, I don't mind the idea, but it ain't happening. They're going to wear black uniforms no matter what next week. Like, no matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah, if Nebraska gives up 42 points, they're gonna wear black uniforms next week.
I'm trying to think of what could happen.
No matter what. No matter what. You can take that to the bank, Josh. No matter what.
I do like taking things to the bank.
Take it to the bank. All right. Get to a couple comments from you all. We will round out the hour. There's still some other big college football games, of course, this weekend, the World Series, more Husker topics, things like that. Steve Sipple and our picks. All to come on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But now is a great time to do this, Josh. Actually, Creighton ticket. Tomorrow at the Chai, we got basketball. Yes, I know it's an exhibition, but maybe it'll be fun because you could get in there and you can kind of spread out a little bit. It's not so bad getting in and out of the arena. Not as bad as it will be, I should say, getting in and out of the arena from a traffic perspective. Come on out, enjoy a great time of basketball tomorrow. So we have 2 tickets to Creighton and Colorado State tomorrow night at the Chai. I'll be there. Come up and say hello. And
I won't be there. Don't look for me.
we would like to give them away at this exact moment. 402-951-1620 and be caller number 2. 2. It's a low number. 951-1620, 402-951-1620. Give us a call right now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Second caller gets 2 tickets to tomorrow's Creighton and Colorado State exhibition. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Upon further review, the host's last statement was deemed to be somewhat comical. Somewhat. The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Get into Prairie Flower Casino and get in the game. Prairie Flower has hundreds of the hottest slot machines along with the PFC Sportsbook and your favorite live table games. Looking for a bite in the beverage? You'll love all our options, including Sky Bar and Grill with nonstop sports on our wall-to-wall TVs and the friendly service you know and love. Play longer, win more at Prairie Flower Casino, just minutes north of downtown Omaha. Must be 21. Please bet responsibly.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing.
Hey, so how soon before like a 3-year NBA veteran goes back to college to play basketball?
Connor, that's crazy talk. Why would that's not going to be possible?
Well, the eligibility rules are not of concern anymore.
I learned during the break that G League players could play college basketball.
Yeah. There are a couple former highly recruited guys, and then they went into the G League in some cases for multiple years.
Instead of college basketball, like one of those Ignite teams
Correct.
or whatever? Okay. Where they were like, this is going to change. You're going to circumnavigate the NCAA, and this will be the way of the future. And then it wasn't.
Yeah. People still like going to college because they figured out that they could make money and have fame as well. London Johnson and Thierry Darlin, who one committed to Louisville and the other one committed to Santa Clara. They were in the G League, and now they are playing. They're committed to play college basketball. Darlin, who is from the Central African Republic, played in the NBA Academy Africa program. It's according to the ESPN article. His admission is more in line with other international professionals who recently secured Division I eligibility. The other guy who committed to Louisville, Mr. London, that one is a straight up G League situation.
Okay. How old is he?
Let me get that here in a second. Right. Per the NCAA's Division I manual, any athlete who has been compensated as a professional beyond actual and necessary expenses, a category that includes health insurance, meals, lodging, transportation, cannot play college basketball. But the NCAA bent those rules recently for multiple international prospects who have participated in professional leagues overseas. The murkiness presented by name, image, and likeness and revenue share, as these students who are already currently in college are getting paid outside of health insurance, and scholarships, and room and board, and whatever it might be. They're getting paid actual real life money. This is predictably thrown a wrench into this situation, and there's been some challenging and things like that, and it's barely different than Fedor Zugic playing overseas professionally for however much time.
Yeah, sure. London Johnson's 21, by the way.
21 years old. Tom Izzo, famous curmudgeon, he had a quote the other day. I'm going to get myself in trouble, but I listen to people talk about how kids change. Kids aren't the problem. We're the problem.
Whoa.
This was sprung on us again yesterday, where a guy can be in the G League for 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden he's eligible. Most of my people knew nothing about it. I'm not real excited about the NCAA or whoever is making these decisions without talking to us, just letting it go. They're afraid they're going to get sued. They are, for the record. He's right about that. Izzo said, someone is going to say, well, if they go pro and it doesn't work out, they should be able to come back. Who added that college basketball eligibility has, quote, no rules right now. Well, what about the freshman you recruited there? That's somebody's son, and he thinks he's got himself a good place. And all of a sudden, shazam, they pull out of their hat and bring a 21 or 22-year-old from the G League into play in the program. To me, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing, and I love my job. I don't respect my profession, and I don't respect whoever is doing that.
Whoa.
Whoever made those decisions because they're afraid that a lawyer is going to sue them, sooner or later, you've got to fight the fight. Maybe I'm the dummy, but I'll never agree to that stuff. It's putting all the chips out there. Just wait till he recruits a G League player next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, if everyone else is doing it.
John emails in.
Hi, John.
There's a 100% chance that an NBA player will attempt to play in college. That's coming soon. I just can't wait to find out who the first person's going to be.
LeBron James.
That would be the funniest possible outcome of all this.
Always wanted to be a Buckeye.
LeBron plays in the NBA for 25 years. And then at age 47, he comes back and he's like, you know what? I think I could play a few years at Western Kentucky.
I'm not ready to hang it up just yet.
I mean, it'd be like it'd be like MJ on the Wizards, you know?
A little bit, yeah. Where I'm glad he's there, but he is a step slower and it's not as fun, but I'm still glad he's out there.
It was good for the game.
It was great for the game.
It was definitely really good for the Wizards.
Remember that first year, he didn't take a salary. He gave it to a charity.
Now, it really wasn't good for the Wizards because he was kind of running the team and he was sort of a disaster at that. But as far as like people going to the games and watching them on TV and getting attention, really good for the Wizards. Yeah. Bad for the Wizards in a variety of other ways. Like Michael Jordan getting up 30 shots at age 40 or 37 or whatever he was. Wasn't the best like basketball move, but it was a really, really good fill the seats move.
I'm trying to think. I think
which program would benefit from having, will LeBron James play at Creighton?
Oh, let's go.
At age 47. Jeff writes in.
Hi, Jeff.
Kalkbrenner's coming back, isn't he? No, Kalkbrenner's going to be good in the NBA, and he'll stay there for a long time.
That's what Bill Simmons says.
Thank you. What a segue, Josh. What a segue. Here's Bill Simmons of the Bill Simmons podcast talking about his favorite league pass team yesterday.
What's what the heart wants, and my eyes kept drifting toward Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a delight. Just a delightful league pass team. I really enjoyed them. And then Charlotte was a revelation. I like Kalkbrenner. I'm just going on the record.
Sure.
I think he's a real NBA player.
I agree
think he's
with you.
a 30-minute-a-game big guy.
That is just what an incredible confluence of words from Bill Simmons. It's amazing. What are you looking for? Right there.
Honk, honk.
Holy God. Bill Simmons is honking.
That's a triple honk
What
right there.
a time to be alive.
30 minutes a game, big guy.
I think he's a real big guy in the NBA. And he said it in such a Bill Simmons way, too. He's like, I love the Hornets. I'm in on these guys. Kalkbrenner's like a real guy, And he doesn't say anything like definitively. And he says like he's a real guy. He's a real big, like, what does that even mean? Nobody knows. But Bill Simmons likes him. That's right.
They did have some issues at the position that, well, I guess we'll play the young guy.
Guess we'll play the young fella. Travis writes in.
Hi, Travis.
John Bishop is going to have some wild conflicting emotions about that. He is.
I think a lot of us are.
Can't wait to find. Whoa, you don't like Bill Simmons either?
You guys like him more than me, but
Who's you guys?
You and Josh.
I think he's funny. I don't really listen to the pod very much.
He's one of those guys where you kind of have to keep an ear open for the things he says. Like,
yeah,
his opinion. I don't want to say matters, but like he says a lot of things. You should take note of them.
He is really good at like sneaking in and like dipping his toe into the water of takes, but he definitely has them. Bill Simmons off the record, off the microphone would be a very entertaining conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Jed writes in.
Hi, Jed.
I'm going to do my best to sneak Shazam into my daily vernacular. Yeah, shout out to Tom Izzo for using the word Shazam.
Feels probably like a regular occurrence with him.
Jeff writes in, good Lord, honk, 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 honk. Indeed.
I hit it with the triple honk.
Oh, no, that was John. Jeff said kiss of death for his career.
Oh, no.
No.
Is he bad at predicting things?
No, he's pretty good at them.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty good at it. Ryan Kalkbrenner, NBA superstar. He will not come back to college because he couldn't cut it in the NBA. He already has one double-double.
He's never not gotten a double-double in the NBA.
Exactly. Until whenever they next play. Then he probably won't. Just playing the odds. I don't know. He had like 10 and 10, right? It was awfully close. Did they play a second game already?
No, they play tomorrow at Philly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Embiid. Oh, he's going to get a double-double.
Sunday at the Wizards. Tuesday at the Heat.
Wow.
There's a lot of double-double potential in there.
A lot of double-double opportunities. All right, when we come back, Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. We will get back to the football game and what the week has been for Nebraska football. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. Honk, honk. Well, we'll see if Steven gives us a call back. He did go straight to voicemail, so that's never really a good sign. While Josh is giving Sipple another shot here, got this text from Stephen Millard. Straight to voicemail again, Josh? Yeah, sad. Stephen Millard writes, Nebraska volleyball freshman Virginia Adriano is 21 years old and played several years of professional volleyball. Is there a difference between playing professionally overseas versus the NBA G League? That's what the G Leaguer's point is. That's the point.
I guess there isn't, but it feels like there is, yes.
Just because it's in America.
I guess, yeah.
Just because it doesn't happen in front of you doesn't mean it doesn't happen, Josh.
That's right.
Expand your brain a little bit.
That's my America-pilled mind.
America first, Josh.
That's me.
America first.
Wait till
Josh.
the hype speech.
Oh, really? Well, that's kind of exciting. Speaking of Nebraska volleyball, once again, canceled.
What?
Why are they playing a game tonight, making the Nebraska women's basketball exhibition at 8:00? Or maybe I should be canceling Nebraska women's basketball. Maybe they should start at 4.
That's what I was thinking they would have done. It's just, I understand. It's important to them. It's just an exhibition.
It is.
Play that thing at 4.
But it's another opportunity to make money, Josh.
I would counter with, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
People buy pretzels and Skittles.
But if there aren't people there.
There will be people. If you open it up and it says Huskers on it, there's going to be people there.
All right. You are true. You're right about that.
So you're going to sell Skittles and you're going to sell pretzels. And there's going to be at least like 50 people who buy some. chicken tender baskets.
Oh yeah.
Diet Pepsis. Like there's one person at every women's basketball game that gets a beer. And I'm like, you're my guy. But yeah, you got a chance to make money, Josh. And it's great to get all the cobwebs out. The PA guy needs an exhibition too.
That's right. It's a preseason for the broadcasters too.
And that's what I got. So Nebraska volleyball not making me happy tonight.
But it's Pink Day.
Is it the Pink Out Nebraska game tonight? The volleyball game?
Yeah, it's Pink Night.
Okay.
They're taking on
Northwestern. Interesting. Go Wildcats. It's a Wildcat weekend, Josh.
It is.
All right. Long week. Trying to put it behind us. Clearly, Sipple's not going to answer the phone today. Maybe
it's almost like it's off.
Maybe he realizes that his phone is off at about 1:15.
Like it ran out of battery. Would that shock anyone?
He has never been a run out of battery guy.
Oh, okay.
He has never been a run out of battery guy, but he has been like, I just put it down and I left it for a long time and didn't notice I didn't have it on me guy. Okay. Which is weird because he's really connected. He's talking to people all the time.
Yeah.
But whatever. All right. So long week. This morning we were answering Mitch and I were answering mailbag questions on our podcast.
Classic segment.
And yeah, you got to do mailbag. If you're a podcast, you're a radio show, you got to do a mailbag.
We don't do a mailbag.
No, we don't. We don't do anything close to a mailbag.
Nope.
I got sent over the edge this morning for some reason.
No, did you get triggered?
I was triggered. I was triggered about all of the things.
Hard to get triggered on a Friday.
The Teefies came out.
They're out in these streets.
Do they need to hire an offensive tackle coach just to coach the offensive tackles?
Oh,
do you think that they won't fire Donnie just because he's Dylon's uncle? Like all of this stuff. And I'm annoyed a little bit by the overreaction to the game. Because a week ago we were not having these conversations at all. And I'm also a little bit annoyed, I suppose, by something that I can't change, which is the repetitiveness of all of these conversations. Like everything, if you have one thing that you think about Nebraska football, one thing that you think that they're deficient at, chances are they fell really short in that category on Friday night. And it just gave you an excuse to pop that narrative right back up into that DVD player.
Absolutely.
Yep. Let's put it on. Let's put it on tape, and I'm going to play the hits right now.
Because they were bad at everything. It's your shot to...
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to slide this in there.
Yep. Sounds like a good take for me.
Clearly, I was right because...
Yeah. So I got annoyed.
Look how they played.
I got annoyed this morning. It's been a long week. It's been an interesting week around here. The quotes have been fascinating. The Sunday players only meeting, the watching of the film, and we told every single truth in the entire world. Well, just a bunch of odd stuff.
A lot of weird quotes.
We've been on a pretty weird quote run here, for the record. But they'll have a football game tomorrow, and they have a chance to. I mean, this is one of like the biggest like. There's a bunch of narratives about you, and it's an opportunity to dispel them game that I've ever seen. It's the perfect opportunity. You have the same type of team, rough and tumble, physical, Big Ten football, going to run the ball until they're blue in the face, and even then, they'll just keep running it, right? They want to break you. They are okay with punting. They're okay with taking field goals. They're going to sit back and let you pass it all around in front of them on defense. All of these different things, and all of these things Nebraska has struggled with this year. Nebraska has struggled with the wide receivers from Northwestern for many, many years on end now. Nebraska has struggled with, every single little thing is like, oh, Nebraska's struggled here. And they have that against them coming up on Saturday. But I was thinking back, and this has been talked about a lot this week, the how will they respond thing. And I just, my main reason why I feel like they're going to be okay tomorrow is just because, or at least they'll play well, right? We won't get what we got on Friday. I guess I can't guarantee you that you win, but I do think Nebraska's a better team. So if they play well, they'll win. And I think that's a hard lesson that Nebraska, unfortunately, I thought they were past learning it. I thought they had learned it, but it appears as if they had to learn it again on Friday. Listen, if you don't play well, you will lose. They will beat you. The other team has a pulse. They're not going to roll over and die just because you're wearing scarlet and cream, because you have the coolest chefs, because you have black uniforms, because you have bigger stripes on your pants, because you have, this and this and this and this, because you have number 25 by your name. They're not going to roll over. Unfortunately, I felt like Nebraska was past that point where we had to worry about that from a mental perspective. They clearly weren't. But in this spot where they have been tasked to answer the bell in these specific categories, they have. I really like Matt Rule with his back against the wall. Like, kind of want to be in the foxhole with Matt Rule. I think they have to learn how to win. I think they have to learn how to play from ahead, both literally and figuratively. And, there's a real learning curve in there for Nebraska, and you have to learn it one lesson at a time, I suppose. But right here in this spot, I really like Matt Rule. I'm betting on Matt Rule this week. I think you go through the Rule, the last 2 years, lots been made out of this week. Like I said, the Rule era stinkers, right? 23 Michigan. He said he didn't like it because he just felt like they gave up. They had the Sunday practice. They're on a short week. They play Illinois. They beat them with rough and tumble physical football, right? They have a goal line stand, Riley Van Poppel. 2024, they're off to a 5-1 start. They play Indiana. Huge stink bomb in this game. Disaster, 56-17. Then the next week they go back and they battled Ohio State. They played well. They lost 20-17, but they played well. And I think Josh has made the point this week. It's like, oh, well, that was against Ohio State. Like, Ohio State's got their attention, right? Does Northwestern have their attention? If that's not the lesson of the week, I don't know what is. The lesson of the week is you have to play everyone the same way. Otherwise, you're going to get torched. So I don't know if Ohio State would have been rolling, if Oregon or Ohio State or Indiana, if either of those teams would have been rolling in here this weekend. I don't know that it makes much of a difference. I think they got exposed on Friday for being front runners, and everyone, whoever, if it was Lincoln High, if it was Benson, if it was whatever, Millard South, who was running in here this weekend, they would have Nebraska's attention. I truly believe that, because this is a very internal week. It's a very, you have to do what you do week. And I like, that's what I'm betting on. So that's why I've been positive this week, because I just think we've seen Nebraska in these spots before, and I like them with the coach that they have in these exact positions. Sort of where I'm at. Lane writes in.
Hi, Lane.
Rule is 9-13 in Big Ten play, and you want to bet on him? You can throw out whatever stat you want. I know Rule is 500 as a coach, and Rule is this and that, but I'm talking about this specific position that they're in right now, which is your manhood has been challenged. Your manhood has been challenged this week. Everybody's going around saying you're soft. Everybody's going around saying you can't win when the lights are on. Everybody's going around saying you can't, whatever. You can't play physical Big Ten football. Like, they have been challenged. And not externally, internally. Internally.
Right.
That's where it's got to come from. And so, yes, I am. Regardless of the record or whatever else you'd like to throw out there. All right. Any thoughts on the game before we pick it coming up here in the next segment, Josh?
The week? I'm gonna let the kids speak for themselves tomorrow.
Oh, Josh, no talkie.
You tell me.
Why say word when less word do job?
Yeah.
I like that. Chris writes in.
Hi, Chris.
Full question. Will there be people buying pretzels?
Great
job. I believe so if I see somebody with a pretzel tonight, post 8:00 at Pinnacle Bank Arena, I'm going to send it out there. I'm going to say, look at this pretzel. There is at least one person here with a pretzel watching Mount Marty basketball. I'm excited to see Basketball Herb tonight.
Basketball Herb
at half court.
Back.
Yeah, new scoreboard where I don't have to look straight up. I only have to look like 45-degree angle up.
Love that.
I've heard it's beautiful in there.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that tonight.
Familiarize yourself with your new surroundings.
Are you picking against Nebraska? So I'm looking at the chat right now. Brian's picking against Nebraska this week. And like I said, this is the perfect game because from a matchup, from a football perspective, this is Northwestern's. This is a perfect Northwestern game. It is a perfect game for Northwestern, I should say, because you have a team that not only, has had their manhood questioned or things like that, but I'm talking about from a matchup spot. Right there, their strengths, what they're able to do well is possess the football. Nebraska, when challenged last week specifically with minimal possessions, did not score enough points to get there. Right? They took 3 in the first couple of drives of the game. Then they didn't take any. The rest of the game, they had very limited opportunities. It was really 8-9 drives last week. And so it's not only that, it's in the way they play too. Nebraska's going to be challenged from a tackling standpoint, all of that stuff. It is Northwestern, which is the primary reason why I think Nebraska is going to respond this week. It's the perfect. So I asked BC earlier, is this a good team to play or is this a bad team to play? And I think this is the perfect team to play. It's the perfect team to play. If you were playing some other team that's a little lighter on its feet, and they want to throw it around, and you kind of got to match up whichever way and think about your strengths and your weaknesses or whatever, that they wouldn't have their attention as much. This one is if you are not who you are and focused and don't screw up, you're going to lose. So they'll be ready, in my opinion. We'll be back. We will have our picks for the weekend. And Josh's hype speech coming up next on 1620 The Zone. Hey, did you guys happen to see, before we get to our picks, let me tell you the bad news on that front.
Whoa, what?
Did you guys happen to see the picture of the Nebraska basketball team who all went to Casa Bovina last night in Lincoln?
No, I missed that.
Okay. I'm gonna try and get it up here.
Okay, you need me to vamp for a few seconds?
Maybe a little bit if you got something.
Okay, noticed you mentioned the disaster that was picks.
Yeah.
Some of us had a great week.
Uh-huh.
And
you had a great week, but you're still miraculously behind me in standings.
Made up some ground, though.
You made up a lot of ground.
Hell yeah,
We'll
brother.
get to more of that here in
I
just
believe
a second.
for this show is criticized for not embracing debate like a lot of other sports radio shows.
Yeah, you guys are too nice to each other.
We tend to agree. I think there was the outside of the Nebraska game, I believe there was only one game last week that we agreed on picking on the front end. I don't know how it turned out on the back end.
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
Here's the Nebraska basketball team.
Whoa.
At Casa Bovina.
That's more than 12 people.
It is. You get 15 scholarships now, by the way, Josh. But
is this kid wearing a bike helmet on the right?
Look at all of the, I don't think you could, you probably can't zoom, but they wore like funny outfits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what the theme was here, but Fred Hoiberg in the back is dressed up as like a Rastafarian.
What?
Hold on. I'll show you. I'll get the.
Oh, it looks like he's wearing a black polo.
Oh, it sure does. But that's only because you don't see the rest of the fit.
Oh, enhance
from Fred. Let's go ahead and enhance that a little bit.
Oh! I'm sorry if you were wearing headphones.
Look at Fred.
Whoa, you can't do that, Fred.
Now that's a cool guy. He's got Tim's on. No, he doesn't. Those are just brown Adidas.
Hey guys, we're gonna go fire up Cool Runnings on Disney Plus.
Look at that guy.
What is this?
Fred is so back. Fred's back. He knows he's got a team that's going to score some points and shoot some threes this year.
That photo you just had in the stream.
Yes.
That is going to be in the replies of every team that you just lost to Rasta Fred or something.
New meme just dropped for the meme boys of the Nebraska ball Twitter. All right. So to our picks this week. Let's focus on last week first.
Yeah.
All right. So we picked LSU Vandy. Josh won, I lost. We picked Georgia Ole Miss. Josh won, I lost. We picked Alabama Tennessee. We both won.
Hell yeah.
We picked USC Notre Dame. Josh won, I lost.
Whoa.
Actually, did you pick USC last week or did you pick Notre Dame?
I picked whatever I sent you.
Yeah, you did. I had there might be a mistake in bookkeeping here.
I picked USC.
Okay, you were wrong.
I was.
So let me take that down. Why did it not turn colors? Something might be wrong with my spreadsheet.
Oh no.
And that's why. We picked Utah BYU.
Mm-hmm. I know the Holy War. I picked BYU.
You lost. You won, I lost. And we both picked Nebraska. We both
idiots
lost. Like big fat idiots.
So I went 4-2.
That brings us to 4-2.
It's good.
Let me make sure this is correct.
Respectable
on here.
Mm-hmm.
Loss, win, loss. Okay. 4-2. I went 1-5. Abysmal last week. And yet still, the Happer of the Connor Happer show has a 2-game lead over Josh. We both suck at this now, though. What happened to us? I am 20-28 against the spread. You were 18-30.
A lot of season left.
There is a ton of season left. And of course, things can change on a week-to-week basis. Much like Lane was asking the question earlier. Well, if you think they have mental problems, then what's why aren't you picking them to lose? Because I think things can change on a week-to-week basis. And that's what we're out to do this week. Let us begin. Josh, you were the winner 1 week ago, clearly by a substantial margin.
Thank you.
So you will pick first. We begin in Bloomington, Indiana, where it is the red hot UCLA Bruins and their coach, Tiny Baby Neuheisel, offensive coordinator.
That's right.
At number 2, Fernando, the Mando, Mendoza, Heisman leader, who's a 25.5-point favorite. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl, Jenny Taft, Big Noon Fox tomorrow.
Well, Connor, I think the magic carpet ride ends
For
here.
Indiana?
No, for
It's
UCLA.
over?
For UCLA.
Oh, man.
However, UCLA will cover by just a little itty-bitty bit.
So everyone has the same reaction to this game. Everyone that I've heard, too many points. And of course, too many points. It's far too many points. UCLA's been playing great, inspired football lately. It's too many points, which bothers me because I also think there's too many points, but also everyone else is saying that there's too many points, which makes me think there's not enough points.
You do that. And this is kind of all of a sudden a Indiana showcase, like
I know.
Big spot for them to make a statement.
I'm going with my gut, though. Too many points.
Okay.
UCLA.
Ooh.
I'm not going to change now just because everybody else agrees with me.
You do hate that, though. When everybody says the same thing, you tend to...
That's how Vegas wins.
Yeah.
How else do you think Vegas makes money? By the majority of people guessing incorrectly. UCLA covers the 25.5. SEC having some big games and big weeks. They are covering... I mean, they are blowing they are blowing the Big Ten out of the water this week with big games. Number 8, Ole Miss is at number 13, Oklahoma, who's a 5.5-point favorite, 11 a.m. on ABC. I will take Ole Miss here, and I think a lot of people will look at it and say the same exact thing. I just don't like Oklahoma's offense is ass.
That's the lockstep agree with you.
I just don't like. I just don't, and I just don't know how they do that. Now, Oklahoma, incredible defense, but if you're asking me, who do you trust more to get a point? Any one single point, it's the Rebs.
They'll often give you many points at a time if you score points.
Yeah, you cross the goal line, you get 6 of them.
Yeah, all at once.
Give me all 6 of these. Give me Ole Miss.
I have nothing to add. Great take.
Number 15, Missouri is at number 10, Vanderbilt. I repeat, number 15, Missouri is at number 10, Vanderbilt, who is a 2.5-point favorite, 2:30 ABC.
I never trust Missouri in a big spot like this, so give me the Commodores here.
I'm on a big trusting Missouri kick these days.
Okay.
I'm in on Missouri. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
What a weird spot to be.
I know. But I have not been on this whole Vanderbilt is good thing the entire time.
I don't think either of those teams are good, for the record. But Vanderbilt's
one
at
of
home.
One of them's going to probably make the playoff.
Yes. And then you will see. And then I'll go see.
Yeah, but
I told you.
Who are they going to lose to? That's the thing. Nobody is good. That's the story in college football. So if nobody is good, does that mean these two teams are actually good?
I think there's going to be like 4 or 5 teams in the playoff that are good, and a lot of other teams will be pretty okay.
I don't even know if there's that many. And there's definitely going to be a bunch of okay teams that make the playoff this year. And maybe there is one of our okay teams that make the playoff in this game.
Yes.
Give me Mizzou to cover the 2.5 and win outright. That's 2:30 ABC. This is my game of the week in the Big Ten. I don't know how it got relegated to the BTN. I don't know what happened here. Number 23, Illinois, is at Washington, who's a 3.5-point favorite. Like I said, 2:30 on the BTN.
There are some requirements for BTN.
Oh, they have to have a certain amount of
They have to have a certain number of teams on a certain number of weeks.
I mean, maybe that's what happened. They're always going to get 3 BTN games, but like this is clearly one of the top 3 games of the week when you talk about Big Noon, CBS, and NBC.
I would think so.
I don't know what happened here, but this is either the first or the second best game of the week for me, or at least more important. And you knew that before the season. I don't know what people are missing here. And it's a playoff eliminator. I mean, Illinois takes one more loss, they're out, but they've also lost to the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country to this date. Washington has lost to the number 1 team in the country. It's a fascinating game, and there's a lot on the line. One of these teams may be a playoff team, but not the loser. And I believe the winner is Washington by at least 4. Josh,
I agree with you. I'm not as high on the Huskies as I was earlier this year, but
you don't like yourself some demand?
I do.
Like there's some Jonah Coleman?
Some of the stuff around him. Give me Washington here, but I'm watching them.
You think too much demand? Like he's got 400 yards passing game and 100 yards rushing game, and you're like, oh, I don't know. That's just too much demand. Too much demand?
It's just a vibe thing,
okay.
I think.
Okay.
Just like, really? Only...
We'll see if you re-catch that vibe on Saturday.
I think it has to do with Michigan, and I'm like, I don't know about Michigan.
Oh, they did lose to Michigan. Sorry, I forgot about that. That was just 7 days ago.
People forget.
6 now. But 2 good losses for both of these teams, obviously. But give me Washington. And the game of the week? I don't know. At least what the SEC has decided. Number 3, Texas A&M is a 2.5-point favorite at number 20 LSU. This is 6:30 on ABC.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Wrote it wrong in my scrippy there. Texas A&M. Do you buy them? Are you in?
That is a tough place to play.
It is.
At night.
It is.
But we have a staunch don't trust Texas A&M stance on this show.
Do we also have a staunch don't trust LSU stance?
We do. I'll come back to the thing I've said a bunch about LSU in weeks we've had to pick their games. Where are their points coming from? Give me the Texas A&M Aggies here.
He's a fighting Aggie.
I guess. Go Trev and them boys.
Wow. Marcel Reed, pretty solid player. Yeah, I just think like this is just the whole Death Valley at night thing is a player here.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we say, oh, that's a tough place to play, just kind of as a courtesy. This is a real thing.
Yeah, give me LSU.
Okay.
And we finish with, of course, the game of the week.
The
Northwestern at Nebraska. No ranking designation for either side.
You throw them out when these two hit the field.
You usually have. Nebraska is a 7.5-point favorite. 11 a.m. on FS1. Connor Onions has the call.
First time in Nebraska since volleyball day.
Josh, what say you?
Entitlement. It affects everyone differently. Some people tear down parts of the White House without asking anyone first. Other generations think they invented vacation by labeling it micro-retirement. Sometimes a team can be on such a roll that they feel like they can roll out of bed and beat any old team. Teams can lay eggs. It's not fun, but it happens. It worked for all them chickens in Chicken Run.
What?
Lady Cluck from Robin Hood.
Oh, no.
Chickaletta from Paw Patrol.
What?
Robot Chicken.
What?
Chicken Jockey. Sometimes, if you hold an egg, love it, cultivate it, like Horton did that one time, an egg can breed new life.
Very good.
And it's time to show the world what you do with your new lease on life. Do you block literally anyone in front of you? Do you score literally any points in the second half? Do you throw the ball away if a big scary defender is coming towards you? Do you try if you find yourself down by more than a single point? Oh, and don't get it twisted. It's not just a player problem.
It's the whole operation. We're talking T to B. Coaches, do you want to win? Or do you want to be the smartest person in the room? Oh, there's no opponent tomorrow. Just yourself. The bar is on the floor. Clear it. Wildcat, we can see you, but you don't matter. Because we're going right through your ass tomorrow. Wow. You're a do-over. You're a mulligan. You're a chance to show the world and any prospective new employers that may be watching that we can do our jobs just fine. Tomorrow is your chance to transform, not just into a competent football team, but also into a gang of purple people eaters. And hey, real quick, I mean that in like a beat Northwestern type of way. Do not, and I repeat, do not try and emulate the Minnesota Vikings, because they suck. Nebraska 24, Northwestern 21. It's always close against Chicago's football team, except for those times where it wasn't. And that's okay. We're built for this. Tomorrow, make them say, "Holy Chicago!" Nice. Okay, so you do not.
Holy Chicago!
Thank you, Gus. So you do not have Nebraska covered.
I do not.
This is the first time
Connor.
you've done a hype speech and not had Nebraska covered.
Well, I've seen these two teams play before.
That was a hype speech. That might have been the hype speech that was filled with the most backhanded compliments / like, there actually weren't even backhanded compliments. They were like, "You guys suck. How did you do that?"
Oh, so you're saying
like,
I told a lot of truths?
No, you did.
Maybe all the truths.
No, you
there
told
were to tell.
all the truth, as you would say. You told all the truths in the Sunday meeting. You did. But, I wasn't like, wow.
I could run through a brick wall right now.
I was like, wow, we really do suck now that you put it that way.
Like, oh, I thought that guy loved me.
Sipple's Lost Tea writes in.
Hi, Sipple's Lost Tea.
These pep talks need to be videos.
I agree, but I don't know. I don't know how.
How long does it take you to do?
About an hour.
Yeah. T to B.
T to B. Top to bottom.
Okay. Soup to nuts, as they call it. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt writes in.
Hi, John Jacob Jingleheimer.
I haven't seen one Nebraska reporter pick Northwestern. Connor is next. Well, John, you've been listening to the show all week. You know who I'm not picking. Northwestern. Like bleep through a tin horn. That's what's his name said, Nick Saban, that one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. No, I think Nebraska's going to win. I do. I think Nebraska will respond. And I
Typical media.
I think if they play their game, Nebraska will win it. If Nebraska would have played well last week, would everybody be picking them to win by like
yes
30 this week? Like, I don't know. So think about it that way. 31-17. Nebraska by 2 touchdowns.
2 tutties.
2 full touchdowns.
Wow.
In this game. And then when they don't win, you come back on Monday and you say, "But Connor, the media told us that they were going to win."
Why won't they tell us what's really happening?
Because the media has to guess just like everybody else does. It's just my opinion. Just one man and his opinion. Let me go. Okay. Nebraska covers and wins, and then it's blackout week next week, and that's a story. I'm sticking to it.
Big game.
Big game indeed.
Scott Wolf.
It's Wolf Week.
It's Wolf Week.
I almost forgot about that. That's right. People saying that or John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt is saying that I've been bought
and paid.
I have not been paid yet.
Release your bank statements.
Pay me. If you
you haven't been paid yet?
I haven't been paid yet.
Okay.
Josh. I haven't been paid yet. I have to wait They usually send out the checks at the end of the semester.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
We are back with the polls, and we'll tell you what to watch after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, here we go to the polls at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Had a couple today. Did your dad show you Mitch Richmond highlights at 8 years old?
No, because at 8, Mitch Richmond, I don't think was in the NBA.
When I was 8, there was no way to watch highlights.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
I didn't watch highlights.
Unless you had it on a VCR.
I watched the live games. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
89% said no.
Makes sense.
By the way. Do you get crazy with the bagel combinations?
No, that was a great conversation between you and Munson. Couldn't agree more.
76% said no.
Just cool it with the bagel stuff.
Is Rocco Spindler this week's shed? The guy in 1902 who contracted typhoid fever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of corollaries there. 66% say yes. Nobody knows what we were talking about, though. Have you ever had your nipple pinched at the Alamo Dome?
I have.
Josh has. I haven't. 72%. 28%.
That's a high percentage.
Yes.
Whoa.
And finally, will there be people buying pretzels?
Always.
75% say yes. Those are the polls. Josh, what are we watching?
We're watching the World Series. Ever heard of it?
I have.
Okay.
I love it.
7:00 tonight on
I love it.
Big Fox. The LA Dodgers are at the Toronto Blue Jays. Blake Snell versus Trey Savage.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Savage.
Great story. The anthem will be performed by Pharrell and a choir, Voices of Fire. They'll be performing both anthems.
Tell me who's throwing out the first pitch.
Cito Gaston.
Let's go.
The manager of those World Series winning teams in Toronto. Yes.
92 and 93. Yeah.
And then World Series Game 2 tomorrow night, same place, Big Fox. Bebe Rexha will perform the American national anthem.
Oh, I always liked Bebe Rexha.
I do too. Alessia Cara will perform the Canadian national anthem, and Joe Carter will throw out the first pitch.
Whoa, I forgot that they're going to do the Canadian national anthem.
Yes, you have
it's
both
going to be
anthems.
hot.
Yes. NFL on your TVs this weekend. Giants, Eagles, noon Sunday on Big Fox. CBS has the doubleheader. Bears, Ravens at noon. Cowboys, Broncos at 3. And Sunday Night Football for the first time ever. Aaron Rodgers takes on the Green Bay Packers at Acupuncture Stadium, I believe is what we're calling it.
Acrisure, but I do like acupuncture.
It is a good name. 7:00 on NBC. College football tonight. North Texas at Charlotte, 6:00 on ESPN2. Cal at Virginia Tech, 6:30 on ESPN. And
classic ACC matchup.
Classic. Old rivals. Boise State, Nevada, 9:00 on CBS Sports Network. College game days in Nashville for Mizzou Vandy. Guest picker will be Nate Benghazi.
Of course. How many times has he done this?
A lot. Maybe we find someone else to represent comedy.
That dude is everywhere. I mean, you got to give him credit. One night he's in Omaha, the next night he's on Saturday Night Live, the next day he's on Game Day. I have no idea where he ever is.
Big noons in Bloomington for UCLA, Indiana. Their special guest is something that Nick would have to educate us on. The conquistador of concrete, Alex Paulo.
What?
It's a driver of some kind. He drives a race car of some kind. I'm not sure. Also, BT.
Why is he there?
I don't know. Fox probably has the rights to the racing that this guy does.
It's an F1 situation?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
BTN is in Lincoln for the big tailgate.
Whoa, they are?
Yes. At I believe this would be the Meyer Commons.
I don't know what that is.
They'll be there at 10 a.m., but 1620, the pregame is a better place to be. They'll be on earlier at 8:30 as well. NBA debuts on Amazon Prime tonight. Celtics, Knicks at 6:30, followed by Wolves, Lakers. Volleyball on your TV tonight, 6:00, Nebraska Public Media in Northwestern, Nebraska.
Boo!
7:30 tomorrow night. You really need to explain why you're booing.
No, I did. They start at 6. I want them to not play tonight.
Michigan State, Nebraska on BTN. Creighton on ESPN Plus this weekend, 4:00 today at Providence, 3:00 tomorrow at UConn.
Yay!
Yeah! Couple of movies to watch this weekend. Weapons is on HBO Max. When all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. And Ben Stiller made a documentary about his parents, comedy icons Jerry Stiller and Ann Mara. Stiller and Mara, Nothing is Lost on Apple TV.
Interesting.
Yes.
Also, Huskers JKB writes in, Josh, it's Bargatze, not Benghazi.
John Bishop told me it was Benghazi.
I always thought it was Bargetzi.
Look,
that's it.
It's that guy.
That's it.
Cheers to the weekend.
Cheers to the weekend. Reaver
beer. I'm drinking it. You can't.
Get your Reaver beer whenever it's on sale at a place where you can buy it. For now,
if more celebrities like me drink it in public, then you'll get to drink it as well.
For now, you'll just have to watch Josh drink it on the YouTube, at least for the next 5 seconds. That's it for us today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.